digital transformation. Possibly now, we are at a phase wherein digital transformation for many of the organizations is either over or almost close to being over. Now people are talking about reimagining the future. I hope all of you understand the difference between transforming something and reimagining something. Reimagining is as good as a green field, wherein you ask basic questions and start asking, why am I doing, what am I doing, for whom am I doing, right? That's the stage that we have arrived. And hence, ladies and gentlemen, the theme for this entire conference for this year, of course, is the digital reimagination of finance, crafting the blueprint for the new frontier. And none other than the esteemed guests on the desk are going to craft this new blueprint for all of you here. I would really love if all of you can take some notes and maybe later on prepare the reports. Send those reports to us from across Mumbai. We will be more than happy to publish a dossier out of it. That's the promise that I give to all of you, and you all could become authors in those reports, right? So please do that. Take the most of this conference. Now talking about my team here, because I think it will not be good on my part if I just not only mention it, but I'm really proud of them, not because I'm the host of this conference. Believe me, except for curating the theme, everything for this entire conclave has been done by my students of PGDM, TGBS. So big round of applause to all of those. And of course, a fantastic team of mentors, the finance department led by Dr. Mishu and her entire team of faculty colleagues. So tremendous work. This is not a formality, guys. I hope you understand what it takes to organize a conclave of this level. To our esteemed guest, thank you so much, sirs. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and agreeing to share your words here. We all are eagerly looking forward to it. So I don't think I would spend much of really time into this. But guys, this is possibly the second conclave in past 3 months. So that's the periodicity and frequency with which the institute interaction goes on here at TGBS. So again, a very warm welcome. My gratitude towards management of Thakur Education Group for supporting these initiatives and encouraging us. I don't think I should spend more time than this. Welcome again, and I declare this conference to be open. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. What's up?
Thank you so much, sir. We are honored to have Mr. Saurabh Tomar, the head of Unified Payments Interface and Immediate Payment Service at the National Payments Corporation of India, as one of our esteemed keynote speakers for this discussion. In this pivotal role, he is at the forefront of driving the growth and innovation of digital payments in India, with the remarkable achievement of overseeing transactions exceeding 100 billion INR per month. With a career spanning nearly 2 decades, he has consistently demonstrated exceptional leadership and expertise in various roles within the industry. Mr. Tomar has also worked at INT Vyasya Bank, where he served as a location head and took charge of consumer finance, specifically in the domains of home loans and mortgages, elevating the bank's presence in these markets. Prior to that, he served as the branch manager in Indore for City Financial Consumer Finance India Limited. He has also made valuable contributions during his time at ICICI Lombard and Bajaj Allianz General Insurance Limited. We would like to express our gratitude for your presence here today, sir. I would like to request our director, Dr. Nilesh Gokhale, to felicitate our esteemed guest.
We are delighted to introduce our next keynote speaker for today, Mr. Nishant Agarwal, currently the head of digital business at Kotak Securities. He is a seasoned professional with over a decade of experience in finance and consulting. Previously, he played a pivotal role in driving digital innovations and customer journey development at IDFC First Bank. He has also held various leadership positions, including Senior Vice President at the bank. His consulting expertise, demonstrated during his tenure at KPMG India, involved contributing to strategic initiatives and expanding markets for leading financial institutions. His expertise in market assessment, strategic planning, and business development paired with the passion for innovation, positions him as a valuable asset to any organization. With a solid foundation in finance and strategy, he continues to drive growth and transformation in the financial and consulting sector. We are honored to have you join us today, sir. I would like to request our director, Dr. Nilesh Conclave, to felicitate our esteemed guest.
We are delighted to introduce the CFO for Thakur Group of Companies and Thakur Education Group, Ms. Reena Karani. She is a skilled professional with close to 2 decades of experience in the areas of corporate management and finance. As the Chief Financial Officer at Thakur Education Group and Thakur Group of Companies, she has exhibited remarkable leadership and financial acumen. She is also a chartered accountant and a company secretary. Her leadership, financial expertise, and commitment to organizational success have been evident throughout her illustrious career. She is a testament to the possibilities that arise from hard work and a passion for finance. Now, I would like to request our Deputy Director, Dr. Suchi Gautam, to felicitate our esteemed guest.
We would like to request Ms. Reena Karani to share her views.
Good morning. Hearty welcome to dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, present and future leaders of this country. TGBS, today's Finance Conclave, is platform for the eminent thought leaders to enlighten us on the digital tsunami which has already come and which we are part as a consumer or as a seller. What is the reality of the banking today and what was the reality of banking yesterday? Banking model of the past is not clearly future model of the banking. We are living in the era of the customer choice where the customer is the king. Technology has transformed industries such as e-commerce, entertainment, travel, stock market, mutual fund, transportation, etc. Now it's not about owning, but it's all about using. Companies are now asset light. They don't have inventory. They have users. They have clients. They have people. Banking sees a clear change as, let me tell you something, that no one likes to visit the bank nowadays. The survey says that 7 out of 10 millennium would like to go to the dentist rather than going to the bank. Bank was inevitable evil, which was till past, but it is no more. Customer now can do banking at any time from anywhere at its own rules. Traditional banking has become outdated and number of retail branches have gone down globally. Almost 80% of Indian population will become and move to the digital banking by 2030. Neo-banking has shifted focus from operations to the people. Life is now contactless and paperless. We have seen era of offline check clearing taking long days, old mother in the village waiting for the money order to come from son migrated to the urban area. But all this is past. In India, government has played important role to build a digital infrastructure. From offline clearing system, we have moved to NEFT, ECS, RTGS, IMPS, and now UPS. Data revolution done by Geo, increase in use of smartphones, digital platform built up by NPCI, and pandemic has fueled accelerated digital transformation. Mobile has become future of the banking. Cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning have become enabler for the digital transformation. We have become flexible from the rigid structure and the thought process. Due to this transformation, businesses have increased their IT spend budget on AI, cyber security, and front-end customer experiences. We are moving towards zero-touch operation, be it DigiLocker, mobile banking, investment, KYC, delinquency prediction, penetration attack by the fraudsters, pen drive classes, education platform like Dixa, algo trading, digital sports right selling, vaccination certificate online available, FASTag, Jandhan Yojana, Google Map, Google Earth, online pharmacy are the example of all this transformation. This digitization has led to the formalization of the economy. This is leading to the reduction of the parallel economy, more direct and indirect tax collection to the government, increase in GDP of the country, better roads and other infrastructure for the people, ease of doing business, saving of time, better customer experience, exchange of data between two agencies for correlation and investigation. There are downside of the digitization like loss of jobs, data security, new generation tendency to work less. However, upside of the digital transformations overweigh the downside of the transformation. Something amazing is going to happen, and it is already has happened, and it is going to happen in future as well. And you all are part of that transformation, and in fact you are driving this transformation, and you are now reimagining future of the finance. So let's get immersed in digital learning with the stalwart of different industries from NPCI, NBFC, security market and payment platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your insights, ma'am. We would now like to invite Mr. Saurabh Tomar to deliver his keynote address.
Good morning, all of you. And thank you for giving me this chance. We will try to make this session interactive as much as we can. So the only thing which I need from you is a lot of interaction, and none of you, either of you, should go back home if you still have any query related to payments or digital technology. So please shoot all your questions. I try and wrap up my presentation as soon as possible. But yes. So first of all, thank you, Dr. Nilesh, CFO, Mrs. Kurani, and the Vishu, and the Suchi ma'am for having me here, and my dear students. I fully agree to the words which is being placed by CFO, that this is the future of India. So guys, a big round of applause for all of you. I don't think so that you believe that you are the future of India. The claps are not having that energy. No? Thank you. So here we are. So what we at NPCI, what I'll try to do before we run this PPT is making you understand that how many of you understand that digital payments are helpful for our economy, for yourself, and for everyone to grow. Anybody? Okay, rest of people still don't understand it. Or how many don't feel that digital payments are important? Chalo. Hey guys, I need little more. Otherwise, okay, chalo. So, coming back to the moot point, why digital payments are important. The very first thing which is quite recent, what happens when it was a COVID and we were all very worried that do we need to touch our currency or not because it might carry some virus or something. Do you feel that it was important to have digital payment at that time?
Yes.
Great. Do you also feel that the digital payments also help our economy because the speed of money is now increased? That means, just imagine a shop who is collecting the cash in the entire day and then next day they are depositing the cash in the bank account. Now what's happening? The money is, the moment you are making the fund transfer, money is there in the bank account. So the circulation of the money, so the moment it is hitting the bank account, and my fellow Nishant will take, that how the inflow of the cash or the money is helping wealth management, or the wealth managers to take this to the next level. But when money is there in the bank account, what bank does? Thank you. And so they give loans to people. Great. At the same time, the people who are depositing money in their bank account, is it also helpful for them? Because now their balances are looking healthy. Their digital credit history is getting increased, right? So that is also very important part. So I was talking to one of the chaiwala, who is very near to my office, and he sells around 5,000 chota cup tea in a day. Initially, 50% of his entire money was there in the cash, and 25% money, because it was too rushy place, people doesn't even give them cash because it is too rush and they say baad mein dunga and all that thing. And that poor fellow is losing around 10 to 20% in terms of change nahi hai. 10 to 20% because of too much of rush, and 50% money which was there in the cash. And he was so worried all the time because he is the single one. Whenever he goes for lunch or any time, he was having a fear that anybody who is there on the counter, they might not do justice with the money. So this is a very small example, but that is the importance of digital payment. Right now, what he is doing, what that person is doing, he has just placed a simple UPI QR, and 90%. I'm very glad to share you. 90% transactions are happening via UPI, and people are, because nobody wants to cheat. People are, very happy. The moment they are finishing their tea, and the one thing in the UPI app, it is the most recent transactions, top 10, top 15 are already there in your history. So you need not to even scan it again. So I think that's the beauty of, digital payments. At the same time, it is also gives a lot of convenience, na? So while I was, I could see a lot of rickshaws walas are, they are wasting their time to giving change and asking for change, and you also are inconvenient because you don't have change. So just imagine what kind of, revolution this digital payments have been brought to our system. And then the very, very important part, which I think we all have witnessed in our India, that in last 5 to 10 years, how many, you might have heard this word called unicorns?
Yes.
What are they? I think they are an animal which is having horn. Okay, so do you also feel that digital payments are helping them somewhere? How? Not from you. I want to hear from somewhere else. Hey guys, anybody? We will give them an internship. You know what's happening? Initially, just look at any business, right? And CFO will agree to this. Every business has 3 parts. One is infrastructure of that business. Second is that core business. And third is the payment part. I'll take a raw example of railways. What is the main core business of a railway? Is to run trains efficiently, right? But imagine, more than trains, they are worried for, their cash lines, selling tickets. This portion is being taken care of. And this is a very offline example. Now you take any example which is online website or any unicorn, and I'll take an example of Zerodha because that's what we were talking in morning. Zerodha has got more users because now they know that more than 400 million users are there on the UPI. So they are not worried that whether that person is having internet banking, password and all that thing. So, and the UPI contribution in either of these apps, which are unicorns, is upwards of 60%. So the point which I am saying, initially, if someone was to become a unicorn and if UPI was not there, they might have, they will become unicorn, but the time was higher. But now the time taken by the people, if they have the good product, they are reaching very fast. So digital payment is playing a very, very critical role in creating a lot of businesses, and it's a very, very supporting, element for these guys to grow very fast. So I think with this note, let's start, and I've been told that I'll also throw some light on how the evolution of the payment and all that thing. I was not having much because I'm only into the UPI and IFPS, but I'll try my best. So as we mentioned, NPCI is National Payment Corporation of India. We are the small company formed by the RBI and the banks. So and what we do is we manage all the retail payments in India. So when we say all the retail payment means somebody mentioned about checks, that is being managed by us. Somebody mentioned about IMPS, RuPay cards, and you might have seen these tolls. This is being managed by us. So in India, anything which is related, all the ATMs, this is being managed by NPCI. So barring NEFT and RTGS, all the products which is related to the finance, that is being managed by the NPCI. So what we call ourselves that we are having a passion for people and payments. So this is the earlier era. Can we shut down the slides? So this is the initial era where the payment used to happen. And what was that model? ऐसा होता था, आपने देखा? Nice. And then what happens? What does it mean? That means some sort of currency have started, right? Okay. And then in 1914, there is a thing called metal card, though it was not on metal, but it was on a paper. But this is what the kind of currency somebody has introduced. But in this era, two things were happening. That this, one is the growth of the credit and modern payments. So one was the Ford has introduced their cars, right? So and initial value of the Ford cars were very, very expensive. But at that era, because they wanted this to go to the mass scale, then they reduced the pricing by close to $800, right? And the other thing was, so what they did, they wanted that car and their gas is on credit. So the people were having some mechanism to get the money and all that thing. And other thing was happening in the surge in the retail chain. So when the lot of retail chains, if you look at 1919, there was only one brand called A&P, which is having close to 4,000 chains. And in 1937, you just look at how many brands and how many chains were there. So when these chains were having, there is a lot of cash related issues, all those things were coming. And that's also pushed the entire industry to create something which is convenience, and fast. And then the introduction of the charge points means these are the sort of credit cards in the earlier times. So every company used to give them, So for example, if you look at the Blackstone, that is the hotel. So if you go to that, they will give you one card along with some number to it. If you will come, you give this, they understand. And they note down somewhere. So on a monthly basis, you can pay. So this is the time when the credit card, credit concept was coming in picture. Same with all the other companies which have started doing this. And then there is the introduction of the charge plates, right? So this was their front size. So this was the earlier credit card kind of a mechanism wherein the people used to have, and these were the embossed. And this was their backside. And this was happened in the Philadelphia. So this is, and कैसे बनता था charge paid? So this was the machine. So they used to have such machines, created this, and at the same time they also have the, when they have issued. So if you have seen the ration card in the earlier age, ration card किसी ने देखा है? उसमें सब entry होता है आपने when you purchase and all that thing. Same thing these guys were doing. And then the delinquency tracking. So okay, if you have paid, if you have not paid, how many days is been pending. All that used to happen. This is all ledger being physically maintained because this was. And just look at that list. How many people, how many days. So that is the delinquent account. You understand what is delinquent account? Okay, delinquency is a word which is used in the finance world when somebody defaults to pay money on time. So delinquency is also depends on the number of days. So for example, Saurabh has taken a loan, and if I have not paid the EMI on time, and if my days are 27 days past, so I'll say 27 days, DPD. These are the due per day. So this is the delinquency, and you will get more. And just look at 90 past dues. So initial time, they used to write off. And you understand what is write off? Means when you lose the hope that my money will not come. So this is the kind of 90 past days and date. And then in 1976 plus, this is the credit card business which has started in the, and this is the same credit card which is Visa, Masters of the world, and this is the number of transactions. United States was leading, and then Russia, Brazil, China. And what does it bring into the us? It has immensely helped for economic growth, financial inclusion, reduce the shadow economy, and enable digital commerce. So this is, when the time was coming, all that thing were happening. And this is the time, and this is the chart for the, which will give you the countries and their launch of the electronic fund transfer. You understand what is electronic fund transfer? All the NEFT, when anything which has been electronically done rather than the physical, that is what we call it as an electronic fund transfer. So the country, so India, if you look at, we have started something in 2006, 2010, and the other country which have started earlier. So for example, US and other country who have started earlier to us. So this is the some brief history of the world and the how the evolution has happened. Now, how many of you that where are we in terms of in the entire globe in terms of the digital payments? The guys, little louder. If you don't know, say no. I don't know. Are we there in any of the position? So this was the earlier time. Now in terms of digital payments, where India stands? One of the highest. So now India is by far ahead than any of the country. And you know what is the difference between our transactions and other countries' transactions? It is more than double. Means our nearest competitor is not even half of us. So I think that's the proud moment for India, that the country like India, which is so diversified, which is so cash-minded country, and with the right support of this entire, the entire society, trust, convenience, and simplicity, we could able to bring our country back. And how this is possible? So if you look at, there are three things happens in India. One is the Jam Trinity. You are aware what is Jam Trinity? J stands for Jan Dhan, A stands for Aadhaar, and M stands for mobile. So when it is Jan Dhan, means it's a Jan Dhan card, which was the RuPay card given to all the Indians who were not having accounts. So this helps in two ways. One, every Indian was now having an account and now having an account and card, debit card, right? Then A means Aadhaar. So the wide users of Aadhaar, everyone was given Aadhaar card, and that means they have the Aadhaar. And with this we could understand what is AEPS. So AEPS is Aadhaar enabled payment services. You might have seen there are people in the, who are having very small micro devices and putting the thumb and getting money. Yeah, so those are the AEPS kind of transactions. And mobile, so mobile we try to do something, and there where the UPI came in picture. So with this trinity, we could, and that's possible because of this entire tree. So once upon a time, we all know that mobile is going to penetrate. And right now, any idea how many mobiles are there, smartphones are there in India? So it is close to 70 crore and upwards number. So 70 crore mobile smartphones are there, and close to 40 crore feature phones are there. So we Indians are now fairly penetrated in terms of mobile. Chaliye, this is a quiz time for you guys. Which year concept of modern consumer payment born in? You guys can do Google also, as you have mobile. Given Aadhaar card and that means we have the Aadhaar. And with this we could understand what is AEPS. AEPS is Aadhaar enabled payment service. Any clue? 1995, okay? Wrong answer. Yes. Lovely. 2001, again wrong. Now we left only two. 1980, amazing. That was my year of birth. That is wrong. Okay guys, so I think it's sorry, but yes, this is. So you must read this book if at all you have some interest in history and how the payment, consumer payment. So this is looking backward, and this is the book by Edward Bellamy, and this he beautifully mentioned how the consumer payment should look like, and the modern the current payments. Lot of stuff has been taken and inspiration is taken from this book. Coming back, as I mentioned, India is a very diverse. So now we will dwell upon more on the future looking what's happening, so that So we all know a lot of diversity in our country. Around more than 720 dialects, guys. Everybody speaks very different language in different way, right? More than 22 languages. Literacy rate, as we know, 74%. This is again debatable. Someone says it is low, someone says it is high, but this is what the report says. Yeah. And then Kerala, which is talking about 94, Bihar talking about 64. We are expecting that urbanization will take little more than what it is, and the population in the urban areas is increasing. So it is in 2017 it was 34%, and it is expected that close to 42% will be there by 2030. By the way, it will happen before that, the way it is looking. So just look at this is what the per capita income of India looks like. And again, why I'm telling you this, to tell you that if anything, and tomorrow you will be in business, right? You will be doing either in product or tech. Think anything without payment. And this is the only stream which gives you full insight of every business. So I'm so lucky. I'm here in NPCI since last 10 years, and I could able to see how the payments happening in the automobile, how the payments are happening in the fintech, how the payment happens in the investment side. So you name it, because and what's happening in the Netflix side, what's happening in the Twitter. Somehow someone will make payment in LinkedIn. So it is such an interesting field to know, because it will give you glimpse of every aspect of the finance. Yeah, so different diversities, different income, and as I mentioned, more than 1 billion mobile users in India. This is all what we say. And what is RBI driving? So our regulator in terms of innovation and in terms of security is very, very modern and very, very. And we are very proud and lucky to have such a regulator who wants to grow. So you might have heard that
our regulator has also launched our CBDC. Yeah, so our now cash will be there on the.
थांबा हा एक मिनिट
How do we capture this entire community? So not every person will
Mic
use
is-
the same payment mode, and that's why there are
पहिला
so
काय
many
आहे, ते
payments
द्यायचं.
models
ते line
available or the
घ्यायचं.
modes available or the
line
channels
वगैरे
available
आलं
in India. Starting from the bottom layer. So when we say bottom layer, these are the
दोन
people
तीन
who
ते
are
आलं
less
तरी ते
educated.
line
These
आलं
are the
ना
people
ते
who are
ते
who might not have
घंटा
phones.
होता.
These are the people,
आणि
but
केलं
still they
तर
want to do everything. They also want to pay the school fee. They also want to do,
ठीक आहे
they have to pay
मायक्रोफोन
their
ह्याचं चेंज करा
electricity bill, everything. So around 230 million people who do not have the mobile phones and still depends on DBT. That is the direct benefit transfer which happens to them, right? What payments modes they are using? So if you look at, they are using Aadhaar-based payments, as I mentioned. So the government gives them some kind of benefit. They go to the nearest shop, and now banks are available even in a small shop. Anybody who is having that small instrument, they go, they put their thumb, cash, take the money. So that AEPS, you might have seen now every village almost or every tehsil is having an ATM machine, right? You know what? Initial time, an ATM machine was not an interoperable machine. What is it? You understand what is interoperable? Okay, so interoperable means just imagine that if I'm having an ICICI Bank or State Bank of India account, I can only use the State Bank of India ATM. But when we took over, or the vision of RBI, that every ATM, any bank account holder can go with any debit card, it should work. So that's the convenience, that's the kind of scale, and that's the kind of security layer which we all have created. That now, if you have one ATM, it can serve all the banks. So that NFS is there, Bharat bill payment. So all the bill payment now is available on the phones, even on your WhatsApp. Do you know that we have one number, and if you just say hi to that number, you can pay any bill even on WhatsApp. So that's the Bharat bill payment. And then we have a middle layer. Middle layer, they talk about travel, life insurance, rent, EMI, and bill payment. So all these payments like RuPay cards, NACH. You know what is NACH? So NACH is one you might salaries, one account debit and multiple account credit. So when the salary we receive from NPCI, my NPCI account debit, and 100,000 people of NPCI who are multiple accounts in multiple banks get credit at the same time. So just one entry and lot of transactions can happen. That is NACH, and that is again being managed by the NPCI. And then we have CTS, as I mentioned, this is all check systems. So and star 99 has. You are aware that even with, if you have the feature phones, if you dial star 99 hash, even with your smartphone, you can check your balance, you can do a transfer. So if you don't have the, so people who don't have the smartphones, they are using this services star 99 hash to make the payment. And then there is a top layer. When I say top layer, people who have smartphones, who have a lot of accessibility, right? They are using almost everything, and especially, your UPI and the VMAP. I'll not take much time. And these are the payments, how the methodology and the timelines looks like. So in 2010, we have started with the two products, which is NFS, which is all ATMs interoperability, and then IMPS. Anybody is aware about IMPS? What is this?
recording input मध्ये काय
So suppose tomorrow is Sunday. Can you still make transfer? And I'm talking about via your net banking. How?
ठीक आहे
That is with
मायक्रोफोन
the help of IMPS. So IMPS is 24/7, anytime, 365 days, real-time payments. And the moment you submit your OTP or whatever, that money is instantly being transferred to the beneficiary account. That's what the
ऑप्शन
IPS
होता है
is.
टाटा
So that is, and then we introduced CTS, RuPay, and in 2016 we have introduced UPI, E. So this is what the chronology looks like. I'll take this thing in detail in a while. So just to tell you, how and what emotions it brings to us while we do a lot of work from this kind of, in the digital payment side. Look at, Savitri Devi, who is at age of 64, and she is not educated. I'll say she's educated, but yeah, till only second standard, right? And she stays alone in a village called Chechgad in Gondia. And this is a real story, guys. Primary source of income is farm, she's a farm laborer, and at the same time household activities. That's what, Now, this is what the Gondia and the Chechgad looks like. So you might have not have even heard the name of this place. Now, when the pension scheme started in 2000, what used to happen earlier? So, from Government of India, fund came to district, and then they gave it again to the blocks, Mamladar, Kacharis, and all that thing. And then the money was used to distribute it to all the people, physical cash. Now, do you think that there is a Gujayish or there is a chance that a poor person may not get, but still records are saying received? This is what the power of the payment, making the payment efficient. So it is same as making your infrastructure good or making your roads good. If your roads are good, you are reaching on time, your efficiency is higher. But in a background, it doesn't create any direct impact, right? So payments are even one notch above. And then we are talking about someone who is at village, some pension came, 25 rupees to pay bus, again come back, entire day is being wasted. चलो, another question. सबसे पहला आधार कार्ड किसको मिला? ये भी गूगल में है. But I think your Google is not giving you right answer. Yes. Talking about Aadhaar number. It is not. Okay, guys, this is a homework for you. Do this and ask your family members also. Test their knowledge. Okay. Then again, these are a lot of cases now. What is happening with the APS? Simple money is going to the account because Jandan account has been opened. APS machine. There are a lot of Janmitras and the agents which are available in every village. These guys are reaching there, and instantly at her place or hardly 5 minutes walking, she can get the money. So I think when such things happen, this enables and this inclusiveness increases, right? Same with the, there are a lot of examples which I want to give, but in interest of time, I'll skip all this. Now, let's talk about a bit a successful product, guys. How many of you are using any of the UPI apps? How many? Sorry, wrong question. How many of you are not using it? 1, 2, 4. I need to work on it. So when I say UPI app means you are not using PhonePe, Paytm, nothing. Very nice. Okay, but I think I'll still give some credit to the our NPCI team that 80% people are having it, but we will work hard to get you guys in. Right, so it might be because of age, or it might be you might not have an right account link, but we will talk this later. But for any successful product, what is most important part? And you will be part of any product or any business very soon. So wherever you are, please ensure that continuous innovation, continuous work has to happen. If that thing is been not there, it is very easy in today's time that anybody will take over with some better product, with some better commercials. So if you look at in UPI, what I'm trying to convey is, this is the number when we have started. We took close to 1 year to kickstart. And that is where, look at the features, right? So simple, what we are talking is UPI launch means scan and pay. So it was simple scan and pay launch. And then we have UPI global means FIR money getting started. Then we launched 2000, our UPI 2.0. And then COVID breakdown. Just look at this, dip. And then just look at this journey, because that time and after that, what we have, we have not stopped. There are a lot of features which are very, very popular. So, for example, are you there on the Netflix, guys? How many are not using Netflix? Oh, this is more than UPI, which is good. So, I'll say UPI is more popular than Netflix, yeah? Okay. So, now if you go to Netflix, you can set your recurring payments. And that too by any UPI app, right? So, that is what the UPI, all that thing. So, we launched UPI number, we launched ODR. It is the world first platform, guys. World first platform for also giving you real-time dispute management. You understand what is it? Every payment or everything in life may have some disputes. But when it comes to the payment and when it's come to the UPI, you can solve it real-time on your app and you will get the status. So if your transaction is not been successful, it is pending. If you refresh the button, you will get the status that whether the transaction has been declined or not. Yeah, so that is ODR, then e-rupee, then 123 pay. Okay, so let me also tell you. Imagine a situation, hey Alexa, pay 500 rupees to Mishu, for example. What does it mean? Is it looking good? If you look at Hello UPI, this year in September GFF, we have launched your UPI apps is now you can talk and they will make the payments, guys. So sometimes, and sometimes what happens, there are a lot of people who are not app savvy. They are very afraid of using app. उनको लगता है कुछ होगा, कुछ हो जाएगा. So now in the Hindi and English, in two languages we have started this UPI, Hello UPI. Means you will say hello PhonePe or hello Bheem. That app will talk to you. And in terms, if money is more than 500, you will put up your PIN. If it is less than 500, it will go without you doing anything. But you need to open your app. So if you are doing anything, if your hands are muddy or if you are married, doing mehndi and all that thing, still you can make payments. So that's what the beauty of Hello UPI. One more thing which we realize that a lot of innovation if you look at, right? But can you do any payment when you are in offline mode, aeroplane mode? You might have experienced this, right? Network is not coming and must be very frustrated. So first of all, sorry for that inconvenience, but now we are solving that. So in September this year, we have launched offline. Means if you are not in network, other person not in network, still you can send money. So now two phones will talk. So thanks to you, because India is such an amazing country and the people are such amazing people who are adopting technology so fast, right? So now if you are not in network, still you can do payments, and this functionality is already been launched, and very soon all your apps will have that functionality. So you can do a limited amount of transaction, and the moment you will come in, network, all those things will settle in the background. But for you as a user, you can still make the payment when you are out of network. So what does it mean technically? Technically means we are also making things decentralized. Means now two phones are taking decisions independently. There is no network, so there is no central system which is being monitored, right? So we are making phones and the inside software so smarter that the phones can decide that whether the payment needs to be accepted or not. So I think with this line, I just wanted to open it for, and there are a lot of features and everything is available on the NPCI website. But would love to take few questions if you have. By the way, okay. Oh, sorry, overshoot it. Okay, so by the way, in this 30 minutes time, we already crossed 3 crore transactions, guys. So that's the power of digital payments in India. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. We would now like to invite Mr. Nishant Agarwal to deliver his keynote address.
Hi everyone. I hope it was a very engaging presentation. So thanks Saurabh for keeping the audience engaged and makes my life easier. Uh, Fantastic to see all of you. It's a big, large audience. Heartening to see a lot of people interested towards finance, wanting to learn about what's happening, wanting to understand how digitalization is shaping. So amazing to see, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Dr. Dilesh. Thank you, Dr. Vishnu. Thank you, Dr. Shruti, for inviting me. So I don't have a PPT, and I have big shoes to fill now. Saurabh gave a very engaging presentation. I'll keep it short. So what I want to cover is how digitalization is shaping our industry and what's happening. Thanks to Ms. Rina, thanks to Saurabh, they already set the stage. They talked about how the digital economy in India has been shaping up. Do you know when cell phones came to India? Anyone? The first cell phone call was done in the year 1995 by the Chief Minister of Bengal to the telecom minister then. And as Saurabh mentioned, today we have 70 crore mobile phone users, smartphone users. We have 1.3 billion telecom subscribers. India is the second largest market for smartphones. What does all these things mean? Like data, the digital payments, the entire economy shaping up. It means that the user is digitally empowered. The things have become much easier to use. And the companies and the industries need to start getting towards it to help you give you the efficient services. And that is the backbone on which the entire digitalization revolution is happening. I come from a stockbroking company. Many years ago, if you look at pictures or you talk to your parents, trading used to be offline. The exchange floor, you would have traders shouting on top of their lungs, trying to punch orders. Can't even imagine the kind of time that was. And today, due to the advent of internet, we are all connected together. So things, because of this entire digital infrastructure which has come in place, it has become far easier for companies to provide these services. So what has happened in parallel? CEOs have started realizing that if they improve the technology function, the financial performance of the company improves. What does it mean for financial services? I need to digitalize. I need to make the processes as automated as possible. But how do I go about this? What's happening? Or what do I do about it? So what's happening is that the technology has been keeping pace with the kind of innovation that's happening. So I'll just talk about a few key trends that have been hitting all the key buzzwords and what you should be aware of. Artificial intelligence. Everyone must have heard of it, right? Do you understand what it means? So the use cases, so good to know everyone. everyone is aware of AI. What's happening is that AI has just disrupted the whole industry, and the new term which has emerged is generative AI, which is ChatGPT and the likes of it. But let me just cover some basic aspects what AI has done. So payments, for example, a lot of frauds happen during payments time. So what does AI do? AI looks at patterns, looks at millions of data points, and identifies whether there is a potential fraud happening or not. A very big use case. What else? We talked about loans. We talked about delinquencies. What does AI do over here? AI helps you in real-time assessment of a creditworthiness of a customer. Just imagine the olden days of lending, it was a high-touch model. The credit officer will come to your home, look at your house, look at your statements, make an assessment, and then, give you what kind of loan amount is possible and sanction the loan amount to you. Today, real time, within a few seconds, as soon as you punch in your application, the first call goes to the credit bureau. Within a few seconds, the entire credit history of the person comes in. Second step, have you guys heard of the account aggregator framework? Okay, so account aggregator framework is a new initiative. It's been there for some time. What it does is all your bank accounts linked to your phone number become accessible in a single click. It's as seamless and as fast as possible. So what do I need when I'm doing a loan sanction? I need to know your credit history. I need to know your financial capability. How do I know your financial capability? I want to look at your bank statements. I want to know how much money you have in your bank account. How would you do it? You will give me a 6-month or a 12-month bank statement in PDF, and I'll go through it, and I will give a decision. Today, that's not the story. Today, you just need to click the button, the entire history comes to us. We run the model at the backend, which is again AI driven, and it immediately understands what the pattern is, how much money the customer has. And basis the two, the credit history behavior on the bureau and the bank statement, there's an advanced model which runs, which tries to classify whether there's a potential of delinquency or not, and basis that, what is the capability of the customer to repay. This all happens within a few seconds. This is what the power of AI brings to the table. So I can go on and on, but I just want to leave the thought over here that how AI has been transforming a couple of places within the industry. The other key term that you guys must have heard is blockchain. How many guys have heard of blockchain? Amazing. Good to know. Do you understand blockchain?
Yes, sir.
Distributed ledger technology, etc., etc. Perfect. What does it do exactly? So Bitcoin, everybody knows of. Cryptocurrencies, everybody knows of. Anyone who has invested or traded in cryptocurrencies? Hare wah. There are a few folks who have dabbled in cryptocurrencies. Great. So, yeah, Dr. Nilesh raised his hand. So I'll talk to you separately if you made money or not. So apart from cryptocurrencies, blockchain give you an added trust layer. What it does is it helps you create a trust factor into the system because of the decentralized nature of it. So multiple computer networks coming together, stamping it, creating a part of the chain. I'm not going to get into the tech or the details of it. What it does is, while the use cases earlier were still getting tested and what could have happened, now certain use cases have emerged significantly. So one of them is around ESG side of things. So for example, you want to understand how the carbon credit flow is happening. A blockchain technology helps you look at the entire trail from start to end. And since it's a distributed technology, distributed ledger, it's tamper-proof, so nobody can play around with it. So the trust in the whole chain gets established. Blockchain is a very emerging technology, especially on the supply chain side and on the ESG side of things. The other thing that Ms. Reena had touched upon was about cloud computing. Again, I'll just do a quick check. How many of you are aware of cloud computing? Heard of it? What do you understand with cloud computing? Badal, what? क्या लगता है? There's a very funny video on YouTube about what cloud is, but anyways, anyone who can just tell me? Yeah, good. Fantastic, fantastic. So, let me give a very layman version of it. All of us like to take photos on smartphones. इतना फोटो खींचते हैं मेमोरी खत्म हो जाता है फिर एक मैसेज आता है टेक अ प्लान ₹50 per month, ₹100 per month, cloud storage kind of a thing. What it essentially means, you are uploading it via internet on a drive somewhere, and then you're able to access it and free up your hardware. What it means for companies is a similar thing. I have a lot of data. I have a lot of work happening. Traditionally, I am storing it on my physical servers. What happens is that the process, the protocols around those are legacy. In a cloud-based environment, the access when I'm doing any digital transformation initiative becomes faster. The reason is because the companies who developed this cloud computing models or the cloud servers were digital first. They understood that this is where the flexibility or the usability comes handy. So cloud computing essentially is having a non-physical and a serverless kind of an environment, working with the likes of Amazon, Google, Microsoft, who provide these services. What it helps is, so we talked about AI, we talked about how algorithms come into place. Cloud computing is a natural fit over here. These models need to be deployed on a server. The AI models, the ML models. What happens on a cloud is the deployment is far easier. It becomes real time. You can just, the way we were talking about how APIs were hitting each other and how instantly we could do it sanctioning. This all happens seamlessly if there's a cloud network availability. So these are the key technologies which I want to talk about. There are multiple other things happening in the world, but these are the places where the real work is happening currently. What it essentially means for you guys. The idea is that you guys need to start looking at upskilling yourself towards these trends. If I look at the year 21 to 22, there was a drop of 13% in global job postings. But there was a 15% increase in job postings for the technology-related trends that I talked about. 15% increase in jobs. There is a lack of skill set in the emerging trends currently. This is where you become invaluable. This is where the industries are looking for people like you. But what it means from your side, it means that you need to start upskilling yourselves. Read about AI, learn about AI, do courses around it, attend workshops, meet people, network, identify what's happening around in the world, and keep yourselves updated. Learn languages. Python. How many of you are learning Python or know Python? Wow. Great. Python and R have become the norm now. It is essential that you guys look at it as one of the areas to upskill yourselves. Analytics. How many of you love analytics? मेरे बहुत ही कम लोग यार finance करना है और analytics पे interest नहीं. Anyways, so analytics is again a big area that you need to start focusing on if you want to make a break in the digital world. What I want to finally talk about, guys, is that this is an exciting time to be in the finance industry. Of all the industries, the rapid innovation, the biggest innovations have happened in the financial services. Financial services always at the forefront. So if you are interested in technology, especially on AI and blockchain, this is where the real work is happening as compared to any other industry. What it also means is that you need to start preparing for this future of work. What it essentially means is that you need to start upskilling yourself for this new reality. This is all I have for you guys today. I hope I was short and I'm ready to take any questions if it is okay now.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights and lessons. We would now like to invite questions from the audience for our question and answer session. Excuse me. Right channel. We request our audience to kindly raise their hands.
Check, check.
A very good morning, sir. My name is Shiran and part of TGBS group. So my question is to you, sir, Saurabh sir. What are the key cybersecurity challenges specific to non-banking financial companies?
Thank you. I think it's one of the most important aspects why we talking about all things and everything. Since it. So while we're talking about good and positive things, there are always a dark side. And hence, the security and cyber security is now next big thing to look at. And trust me, India is already there. That more than 5,000 companies have started their work in making our cybersecurity happen. And they are experimenting with a lot of things. Having said that, from the payment standpoint, from the financial regulation standpoint, our regulator and the government both are very, very proactive and taking proactive measures in terms of keeping, for example, in payments, we already have the two-factor authentication. So, for example, if you're using UPI transactions, right? Can you do your UPI transaction for an mobile?
फाइनेंस
You
कॉन्क्लेव
only need to have your mobile number and mobile number being registered in the bank, and then you need to do your device binding, and then first few days it will be some limit, and then every transaction is followed up by with a UPI pin. So yes, there are a lot of lot of threats in terms of cyber security, but proactively lot of things are also happening.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good morning, sir. My question is to you, Nishant, sir. In respect to cloud computing, what are the roles that it has played in developing its infrastructure during the digital transformation?
Thanks. So, what used to happen earlier with a typical digital transformation project, a large-scale digital transformation project, uh, the first hindrance that would come is the presence of legacy systems and the presence of the big servers or whatever hardware is there within the company. And any new technology needs an upgrade, a better a server, better tools where you can encode the software, which will then power the entire digital piece that the company is focusing on. What happens with cloud computing is, I will give a example from lending. Uh, Earlier, what would happen is that the analytics team would work on a machine learning algorithm in isolation. So they will take the data, they will run the code, the classification algorithm using any of the techniques like random forest or gradient boosting models, etc. And they will come out with a output. And this is a box now, which is trained on the data. And this box we would put up in the existing server. So we would have to buy a business rule engine from the likes of FICO or any other such companies. Code this, data flows in, the machine learns real time and gives up the output. Perfectly fine, it works well, but the models decay over a period of time. So after 6 months, again the same activity takes place offline. Again they code it, again they bring it on the system. What happens on cloud is a very different ballgame. The data is already linked, so there is no offline, online kind of a concept. There is a bench which is available to the analyst. They just log into their portal, the data quickly comes, and they deploy the model. The libraries are available on the cloud. Pick it up, they run the model, they quickly test it, quickly again gets deployed. The whole time of the exercise would be months earlier, which reduces to a few days now. That is the power that it brings at the lending side. Similarly, similar kind of experiences we see on each and every facet of the journeys. KYC, be it trading, for example. So, multiple things. So, legacy versus cloud. Cloud gives you higher flexibility. All fintechs, all big startups are completely on cloud because of the flexibility. That's how it works.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I have a question for Mr. Nishan. Okay. How generative AIs or machine learnings are taking over the traditional market research?
Great question. Generative AI as a buzzword has just caught up. So let me explain the trends in market research that have happened and what brokers are doing around it. The There's a traditional way in which you have a set of analysts. They review, they write the notes, and they prepare the reports. Then set of companies came. I'm not naming them. What they did, they created an AI-based system in which they could crawl the entire internet and read the data and the news. What would the AI do? Because the data is so unstructured and it is divided into multiple timelines, it is able to structure and bring cohesiveness to the output to make it relevant. So, for example, there might be news articles about how the company has been performing. So, it crawls the network, internet, it brings in the data and makes it in a proper timeline for you automatically. The other part is that a lot of people are talking about these companies on the net. So there is a lot of statements made across. These statements carry some sort of sentiment for the company or against the company. So positive, negative aspect of the company. So the crawler would identify the AI model will also give you those kind of outputs. This is already happening even before ChatGPT took over the whole space. Currently, what's happening is generative AI, in principle, can create these reports. The problem is of hallucination and the kind of output currently it gives. So, for example, there are times when the context is missed by the AI. There are times when it falsifies the output, and advances are happening in terms of improving the models. But as of now, generative AI for a direct market research is still in a very, very nascent stage and still with caution and still needs a human in the loop to verify what the output is coming from the generative.
Morning, sir. My question to Saurabh sir is how India or MTCS strategy to compete globally with the other companies like Mastercard, Visa, and also of the MTCI provide competitive conversion rate lesser than the other companies for a transaction.
Thank you. But let me also tell you that competition is always good. And please invite a very good and a competitor who is having good muscle, good product, good intelligence, good productiveness, which was because that will always keep us on track, right? On toes. That's first. Second, we are not competing with anyone. We are just trying to compete with our yesterday. So if we know the pain points, if we know so there are two things. One, how do we reduce more friction from the consumer's life so that payment will be easy and secure? And second, what all is the possible innovations? For example, as I told you that now UPI, with UPI you can do even when a transaction, even if you don't have the network, right? So those are the innovation versus the customer pain points kind of approach we have taken. In terms of how are we approaching the world? So as you know that we are already there in these few countries now. So they have adopted UPI technology and they are very happy, and there are many more in line and many more discussions are on, and then we are very hopeful that within 2025 or 2026 you will see a very good traction across globe. So right now, let me also assure you that if you are going to UAE or Dubai, you can use your existing UPI apps and scan them. You are there, and you can make the payment as simple as that you are making payment here in India. So there are few countries which have already, and because it's all the Indian diaspora is so big that there are a lot of Indians who are liking it. And at the same time, in G20 and in the recent time, you might have seen the interest towards our own technology, India's side. It is UPI is one of them. So we are very, very, so it is, we are not competing, but we are trying to do a lot of things with our own, potential. Am I able to answer you?
Can I ask something?
Sure, sir.
It's an extension of it.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
So credit on UPI.
Purposefully, I was not talking, credit because I don't want these guys to take credit as we speak. These guys need to earn first. But yes, credit on so credit on you. So what we have done, UPI with UPI you can now enable any source of fund. For example, if you have a prepaid wallet, you can link with UPI. If you have a current account or saving account, you can link with the UPI. If you have a RuPay credit card, you can link with UPI, and you can use your credit card and you will get those kind of all benefits which are there in the credit card in the real world. And now in September 23, we have also launched credit line on UPI. What does it mean? Means if Saurabh is having any personal loan or any loan given by any bank, initially what used to happen, if I am applying for a loan, my money used to get transferred in my account, whole money, and my interest starts from that day. Now, if I want money, but I don't want money today. I'll use it as and when I need. So now banks will start giving you credit lines. And I will link those credit lines with my UPI app and start making payments. So suppose I want to purchase computer, I will do that. Suppose I want to do something else, I'll do that. And it is simple as normal UPI transactions are happening. This will also happen. You are near to us, you can speak. Yeah.
Hello, sir. My question is to both of you. So the question is, UPI is such feature enabled and all. So what was the need to introduce CBDC, centralized digital currency? As of now, what I know is the centralized digital currencies. You have all the currencies, and each currency has a unique ID, and you can transfer the money to the receiver's account. So what is the main use of it? Because UPI does the same thing, and like as such, we don't need any other way to get
Nishan to answer.
Thanks for asking, but sorry, little out of syllabus.
Okay. Okay. I think let me propose. So what is the use of CBDC? CBDC is there in cash. As we still, as we speak, no, still we are spending a lot of money, and a lot of management and other charges on the managing cash, printing cash. Right? And you might have seen within this group, there are few hands up. They are still not using UPI. They also want something. They don't like UPI, which is a long time. So there are people who will not like UPI. There are people who use different things. Having said that, UPI and CBDC both will. India is such a big country. It will go and CBDC has very different, meanings to our country. So and by the way, right now, if you have a CBDC account, you can also do a payment on the UPI merchant. So CBDC is also linked with UPI as we speak. But it will make sense in this competitive world. A lot of things will come, and you need to compete on your merit.
I was thinking of the core problem which was thought will be anti-science. They decentralizing the national currency.
Obviously. Yes.
To look at it is as a payment which comes physical form and digital. That physical form is getting replaced by physical form. That's the so the network would be instead of cash, it's digital.
Both will overlap. Both will overlap.
Thank you, sir.
Good question. Yes, ma'am. First, allow me, Jyoti.
I'm Jyoti Yadav from Thakur Institute, and my question is, what are the security measures in place for transaction and any plans for improving cyber security?
If I'm understanding your question right, then what are the security there for making any transaction? Is that your question first? First part of the question? Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, that every transaction is having its own, so according to the value and the regulations, every transaction carry its own way of, how do we make transactions. So for example, when you make a card transaction, you need to put up your PIN on the POS machine when you purchase something. And when you are purchasing something from Amazon, you also get an OTP. Same in UPI. Can you do any UPI? So in UPI, you need to put up a UPI PIN, which should be only known to you. So that's the transaction level security. Other than that, there are a lot of security which I can't disclose. But in terms of cyber security now, cyber security and the risk and the fraud, these are very, confusing words. So let me just tell you, what you should be aware of. There are a lot of calls nowadays you will get saying that, hey, you will get 2 lakh rupees of lottery. First, you need to do this, register this. This is a link. All these suspicious emails, especially to the lotteries, especially to the like my YouTube page, you will get 200 rupees per like and all that. These are all scams, right? So please be aware of it. When you are scanning and when you are putting a UPI pin, it is for giving money. There are a lot of frauds are happening wherein somebody is sending them a UPI QR and they are on call and they, due to greed, which we all have somewhere, you just scan this QR and you will get 1 lakh rupees. So when you are scanning a QR, ensure that the money you are giving, not receiving. So please convey this message to your family and everywhere. Regarding to the cyber security and the app security, right? When you are using an UPI app, you cannot take any screenshot of the UPI pin. Have you observed this? So there are a lot of features because of the safety and the security purpose I can't share. But yes, don't worry, your transactions are safe.
With this question, we would like to conclude our question and answer session.
We extend our heartfelt gratitude to our keynote speakers for sharing their valuable insights with us. Let's give a huge round of applause to our speakers.
We request our volunteers to kindly escort our speaker and our Deputy Director Ma'am to the podium.
Please everybody be seated on their place.
This brings us to the end of the first part of the conclave. We would now like to invite Prashant Singh and Saloni Devkare to take over the second part of our conclave.
Thank you, Avanti and Dipesh. So before we start with the second part, we like to have a small fun quiz with you guys. So whoever knows the answer of these questions, kindly raise your hand, and a volunteer, a student volunteer will give you the mic to answer the question. And we'll also give you a chocolate for this. As a reward. So my first question is, student volunteers, are you ready? What is the full form of IoT? Anyone who knows the answer, kindly raise your hand. A lot of you know the answer. The guy in blue, kindly give the mic.
That's the correct answer. A round of applause for him. That was a snowball question. Let's ask some really difficult questions. So, anyone can name 5 cryptocurrencies? You raise your hand. That's correct. Huge round of applause for him. One more question. What is Apple's mixed reality headset for? Come on, guys, you must have seen those commercials. What is Apple's mixed reality headset for? Anyone? Kindly give it the mic. The whole name. Kindly scroll. That's the right answer. Huge round of applause for him. Another snowball question. What is the full form of AR and VR? Anyone? Like to answer? Kindly give the mic. AR is augmented reality and VR is virtual. That's the right answer. Huge round of applause for it. So a lot of you guys must be using ChatGPT for your research work, right? So which company founded? Which company is the behind this software? Anyone would like to answer this question? In the back, anyone? Give it to me. You're audible. Say your answer. That's the right answer. Huge round of applause for him. So as we were talking about ChatGPT, who is the founder of OpenAI? Anyone? You've already answered. Anyone in the back? Kindly raise your hand. Whoever wants to answer, kindly raise your hand. Kindly give him the mic. That's the right answer. So during the keynote speaker's address, we were talking about UPI and IMPS. So anyone would like to give the full form of UPI and IMPS? So to full form UPI and IMPS. So anyone would like to try for IMPS? Kindly give it a try. That's the right answer. You should get the
What does ESG stand for?
Anyone in the back would like to try the full form of ESG? Could you repeat? Anyone else would like to try? Environmental, social governance. That's the right answer. So you guys are must have heard the term fintech. So what is this acronym stand for? Financial technology. It's financial tech. Not financial. Nice. So you guys must be aware that we had an Instagram quiz. So a lot of you must have participated. In the audience who participated, kindly raise your hands. So now we are going to announce the winners for that quiz that was held on 6th October. The fourth prize goes to Prashant Rai, Sri LR Tiwari College. Is he with us here? Kindly stand if your name is Prashant Rai from LR Tiwari College. He is not among us. Third prize goes to Shubham Chandam, Viva College. Kindly stand.
Second prize goes to Bhavik Panchal.
Huge round of applause for him.
And the first prize goes to Tushar Chauhan.
Huge round of applause for him. I request everyone to please maintain silence. As the case is ever. I request everyone to please sit down. Director of TGBS. Please join us on stage. Let's give them a resounding round of applause to show our appreciation. We are pleased to welcome our first panelist, Mr. Shravan Prabhu. With a wealth of experience spanning close to 2 decades, he has consistently showcased remarkable expertise and leadership in safeguarding the digital landscapes of organizations. Previously, he holds the prestigious position of Managing Director in Technology Risk at Protivity India Member Private Limited. In this crucial capacity, he plays a central role in shaping technology risk strategies and providing invaluable guidance to organizations seeking to secure their defenses in an increasingly complex digital world. Prior to his current role at Protivity, he made notable contributions as a partner in cybersecurity at Nalgia Anderson LLP, Mazars India, and Video India LLP. In these roles, he continued to be a driving force in the field of cybersecurity, providing expertise to his clients. His career path includes substantial stints at PwC, where he held a director position, as well as at EY, where he served as a manager. Throughout his career in the field of technology risk and cybersecurity, he has consistently demonstrated unwavering dedication to safeguarding digital ecosystems. We are truly honored to have you with us. Now, I would like to request our director, Dr. Nilesh Gokhale, to felicitate our esteemed guest. A huge round of applause for our first panelist.
We are pleased to welcome. We are pleased to welcome our next panelist, Mr. Thakur. He has an experience of over a decade and holds the esteemed position of being the co-founder at FT
वो
Cash,
माइक वाला है ना
where he
वो लोग
has been
स्पीकर के
driving
सामने सब
innovation
ऊपर के
and
सामने
leadership
इसके
in
लिए
the financial
चला है
landscape. As a
चालू है
co-founder,
माइक
he has played an instrumental role
वो
in
गए
the
बाहर
growth
गए
and success of the company, contributing to its evolution as a prominent player in the fintech industry. Prior to his entrepreneurial journey, he has worked at leading consultancy firms such as KPMG and Grant Thornton Bharat LLP. He also had a pivotal position as the Chief Development Officer at Varanasi Carpet Exports, showcasing his adaptability and leadership abilities. His dedication to innovation and his leadership in the fintech industry are truly commendable. We are honored to have you with
What
us,
is
sir. Now, I would like to request our director, Dr. Nilesh Gokhale, to felicitate our esteemed guest.
हैं? ये फेलिसिटेट कर देते हैं
We are pleased to welcome our next panelist, Mr. Gaurang Chandran. He is a seasoned professional with 25 years of diverse experience. He began his career in the BFSI sector, where he held senior roles before venturing into entrepreneurship in the fields of hospitality and wellness. Following the COVID-19 pandemic, he transitioned into the realms of big data analytics, program management, and ESG. His impressive track record includes notable achievements such as an impressive stint at ESGRisk.ai, spearheading India's first social SPO by an Indian firm, partnering on a project with UN India and EPIO for sustainable development goals, and developing ESG curriculum for Modi Institute of Management. He has also conducted ESG assessment of NPCI and contributed to the ESG and core strategy for EPIO. Additionally, he's been an advisor to an AI firm in Singapore for building ESG models and software. He has also devised and introduced groundbreaking ESG education for school children aged 5 to 15. Recently, he tied up with EQ as their ESG training delivery partner. Beyond his professional achievements, Mr. Gaurav is a recognized yoga expert, having trained numerous yoga teachers. He is a certified nutritionist and a passionate food enthusiast. Throughout his journey, he has been actively engaged in various social causes, showcasing his commitment to making a positive impact on society. We are truly honored to have you with us. Now, I would like to request our Deputy Director to come on stage and felicitate our esteemed guest. A huge round of applause for him.
We are pleased to welcome our next panelist, Mr. Prashant Devare, the Senior Director of Data Security Council of India. He brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise in privacy regulations, information security, and the General Data Protection Regulation. Prior to his role at DSEI, he was a Senior Director at NASCOM. His career journey also includes a tenure at Wipro, where he served as the Global Head of Cloud Application Services for HCM and ERP applications, demonstrating his leadership in cutting-edge technology and service delivery. He has also worked with Tata Consultancy Services as a consultant in platform solutions, focusing on platform governance, risk, and compliance, as well as large deals contract management. He also has a notable stint at Deloitte, where he served as a manager in enterprise risk services, highlighting his proficiency in enterprise risk management. Throughout his professional career, he has consistently demonstrated expertise in privacy regulations, segregation of duties, identity, and access management. His diverse background and extensive experience makes him a distinguished figure in the field of data security and information technology. We are honored to have you with us, sir. I would now like to request our Deputy Director, Dr. Suchi Gautam, to felicitate our esteemed guest.
A huge round of applause for our next panelist. It is our pleasure to introduce our esteemed moderator for this panel discussion, Mr. Abhinav Chandra. He is an accomplished professional with close to 2 decades of experience, currently serving as the Vice President of Credit at Shahoorji Palonji Finance Private Limited, with a career spanning in various prestigious organizations. He has demonstrated expertise in credit analysis, debt syndication, project appraisal, and financial modeling. His extensive background includes roles such as Associate Vice President in Yes Bank and a Senior Manager in the Structured Finance Group at ICICI Bank. Very excellent in assessing financial risk and business opportunities. Throughout his career, he has been instrumental in advising on debt restructuring, refinancing, and project financing, contributing to the success of diverse corporate clients. He has also worked with notable brands such as Hindustan Coca-Cola Private Limited and Tata Motors. He holds a strong track record of fostering client relationships, and deepening business networks, further enhancing his reputation as a trusted financial expert. We are truly honored to have you with us, sir. Now, I would like to request our director, Dr. Nilesh Gokhale, to please felicitate our esteemed guest. It is a pleasure to also have with us CA Khushbu Mehta, Senior Manager at Productivity India Member Private Limited. I would request ma'am to please come up on stage, and I would request the director to please felicitate our esteemed guest. A huge round of applause for ma'am.
On the behalf of our institute, we extend a warm welcome to all our panelists and our moderator. Let's give them a huge round of applause. We would now like to request Mr. Abhinav Chanda to take the discussion forward with the panelists at our conclave.
Good afternoon, my dear friends. Hope I'm audible. Good afternoon, my esteemed panel members who are also.
कारपेट एरिया कितना और कितना ज्यादा कंट्रोल के बेसिस से
And most importantly, my dear young minds. My dear friends, I am here to sell you the dream of incredible India, its glory, its aura, and its charisma. Sir, you remember the Digital India campaign? It was launched by our Reverend Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, on 1st of July 2015. At that point of time, India ranked about 122 on per capita mobile data consumption. Now, my question to the audience, any guesses now you have? What is the current status of India in per capita mobile data consumption? Any guesses from the audience? I would like to hear. Please wake up. Any guesses? We were 122 on 2015. What is the rank today? 6. Very good. Good. Optimism creeping in. Please, yes. More answers. Chalo, let me give you the answer. Today, India stands number 1. We are number 1 in the country on per capita data. What is the current data consumption? It is close to about 20 GB per month, and it's growing at 13.6 year on year as per the McKinsey report. Now, another report which has been provided by Ernst & Young, it states that currently India has, again, India is topping the world with 89.5 million transactions, and this is as per the report in 2022. I believe in 2023 we are way ahead of it. Now, one more report I would like to state from my government India, which states that 46% of the real-time digital payment made worldwide in 2022 was done from India itself. According to one NPCI, which is the National Payment Corporation of India report, 40 billion worth of merchant transactions were settled through UPI in March 2023 alone. 40 billion worth of digital transactions. So if we just multiply that with 12, so we hit an annual run rate of close to 500 billion. Now, India shall become a torch bearer in creating a non-cash economy in the world. And according to another Bain and Company report, the UPI payment in India in FY 2026 is going to touch 3.2 trillion US dollars. 3.2 trillion, which is close to the current GDP of the country. Now, I would like few days after this Digital India mission was launched, another scheme was launched, and this was the Startup India mission, which was launched by our former Finance Minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley, on 16th of January 2016. At that point of time, one of the cabinet minister of his, he asked Mr. Jaitley, do you believe that the startup mission in India is going to succeed? And do you know what Mr. Jaitley replied? Yes, definitely it's going to succeed. It is going to succeed on that very day when a father in the country will be willing to give the hand of his daughter in marriage to a startup entrepreneur. That's the change of mindset that is required in India. Do you believe we have the change now? Do you believe the change will have it? Let's see. Now, some statistics. When the Startup India mission was launched in India, India has close to 452 registered startups. Now, again, any wild guesses? What is the current count of startups in India? Any wild guesses? So I'll give you the answer. As per the Department of Industry and Internal Trade report, over 99,000 startups have been registered till 31st May 2023 across 670 districts of our country. So there has been jump of about 220 times in just a matter of 90 months. Today, India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world after US and China. And in the number of new startups, which is adding every day, India ranks number 1. Now, with these startups, there has been an immense inflow of foreign direct investments, the FDI. The total FDI infusion in India since 1947 has been close to 950 billion. And do you know, out of this 950 billion, 532 billion has come in just in the last 90 months. That too, from 162 countries across 61 sectors in 31 of our states and union territories. And remember, my dear friends, each one of them is a global record in itself. The FDI. The FDI is not only about the dollar of investments which is coming in India. The FDI is about the trust the people worldwide have in our leadership, in the opportunities, in the entrepreneurship, and our ability to partner with them and deliver results. So, my dear friends, to conclude my speech, I would say the story has just begun. Now, I would welcome my esteemed panel members one by one, just in order to sum up the flow of the discussion. First, I would just like Deepak Kothari would be taking in the role of emerging technologies for NBFCs, where he would set the stage for the businesses, the processes, the operations, and etc. Following Deepak, we will be having Shravan, who will be talking about the technology, the risks in the financial services sector, where he would be speaking about the risks which is associated with the business. Now, third in pipeline would be Gaurang, who would be speaking about the enhancement of these risk assessment using artificial intelligence. And to sum up, Prasad would be speaking about the cybersecurity in the financial services industry and how the regulations comes across. So I would request Deepak to just continue with.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible. I mean, what is an NBFC? I mean, it's a very big term, right? But if you break it down, it's a non-banking financial company. Why do you need an NBFC? You need an NBFC because over time people realized that banks were not doing lending to a large segment, and consequently NBFCs emerged. Different NBFCs chose areas that they wanted to focus in. Some went to rural areas, some went and focused on, let's say, the likes of Shriram Transport, focusing on the transport sector. But why was this needed? I mean, banks are large, banks have the lowest cost of borrowing. So why are banks not able to lend to these segments? I mean, to give you an analogy, right? I mean, banks are large financial institutions. I'm sure all of you here hold a credit card or a debit card, right? Just pull out a debit card of the bank that has been issued to you and just notice that the numbers are perforated. I mean, when I say perforated, what I mean is if you put a piece of paper and use a pencil like we used to do back in the day, the number will emerge after you use that pencil. Why is that? I mean, has anybody ever thought of it? So I'll give you a little bit more context. Back in the day when credit card machines were not online, the way cards used to be charged was they would put the card into an offline machine which would literally take this perforation, and this charge would then be filed on a daily basis in an offline manner. It still continued till today because somebody in the bank thought that why change it? So the issue with large institutions is change is very difficult, which is why NBFCs emerged. NBFCs also became large institutions. So why did fintechs emerge? Fintechs emerged because NBFCs were not able to use some of the technological innovations that fintechs could fathom. And when I say, I mean, technological innovations, I mean, at the end of the day, what is lending? Lending is a very simple business, right? As an institution, you give money to somebody, a person, a company, a partnership, and that particular person, company, partnership will pay back that money over a period of time. That has not changed. I mean, what has changed is how you give it, how do you assess that person, how do you collect it. So the process has seen innovation. The underlying product has not seen innovation. Underlying product remains the same. I mean, it's one of the oldest businesses around. When we at FT Cash were looking at lending, and to give you a little context, we primarily lend loans to small businesses. So as you drive in Bombay or any of the other cities that you have come from, there are shops on both sides. Kirana shops, chemist shops, hardware, different shops, right? When banks give them a loan, which is a working capital loan, they will typically give a loan of, let's say, 1 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh rupees at the start of the loan. And then every month, the bank is going to collect an EMI. Everybody knows what an EMI is, right? Very simple, right? I mean, nobody questions why an EMI. So EMI is an equated monthly installment, right? It makes sense. I mean, so a lot of you, right, after you graduate, go out of college, right, will get a job. So once you get a job, the company pays you once a month, typically. Now, when they pay you once a month, right, it makes sense that the bank collects money from you once a month as well. So if the company is paying you on the first and the bank EMI is on the second, it's very convenient for you because you don't have enough time to go and party and blow up that money. Money comes in, money goes out, matching of cash flows, right? For those of us who been doing accounting. But what about the Gupta ji, the Mishra ji, the Kirana store guy, right, who's running a shop? So what the bank is telling him is, I know you make money every day, but I want you to save. I want you to save 30 days in a month because it's convenient for me. So I will come to you on the 1st or the 5th or the 10th and I will collect my EMI. Now we all know what happens when people are asked to save, right? Some people are able to do it and some people are not able to do it. But does that make him a bad borrower? Does that make him a bad business, a non-lendable business? I don't think so. So when we started lending, we questioned this. Why? Why? I mean, the status quo, right? Why are things what they are and why can they not be done differently? So we said, okay, I mean, it makes sense to collect every day, but how do you do it? You can't have people running around collecting cash from large businesses and depositing that cash. It's going to be a humongous operational nightmare. When we started, we could see that the government had, we started around 2015 and started talking about digital payments, data. Geo was just about to launch. It was on the anvil. Data was becoming cheap. Digital payments was kind of just starting to kick off. So what we said was, what if we give Mishra ji, Kirana ji, the Kirana store guy, a payment ecosystem, and every time any of us walks into his store, pays him digitally, उसमें से काट लेते हैं. Let's take a small sliver out of that. Small bite-size payments, doesn't hurt him, doesn't require him to save, makes it easier for him. So what I was trying to talk by this example is that a lot of technological innovations that are coming through in lending are largely changes that are seeing in either repayments, changes that are happening in credit assessment. So what happens when you give out a loan to somebody, right? So you assess somebody on day 0, you look at his financial health. If he's a business, you look at his P&L, cash flow, balance sheet. But do any of us stay the same over the course of 1 year? Obviously not, right? We all grow. There's positive growth, in some years there might be negative growth, right? That's the same case with any business as well. A business is going to go through, because you're in an external environment, you're in a market, right? Market is good, you make more money. I mean, a small shop, right, can be impacted by as much as the BMC dug up the road in front of his shop, right? He's not going to make money now because the customer can't walk in. Or, a college is open, so the canteen guy makes good money, or the stationery guy makes money. But when the college is closed, 2 months, he's not making good money. Effectively, right, credit assessment is being done at the time of giving a loan. But what we realized was, how about assessing the portfolio on a daily basis? So today we have an algorithm which actually forecasts the probability of default of our entire portfolio with a 7-day forecast. And it's forecasting if the people are going to pay or not pay. How are we able to do it? Let's understand what the banks were doing first, right? Banks were saying EMI, yes, no. Aya, nahi aya. Aya, good, nahi aya, bad. So it's a binary signal, right? 0 and 1. If he's paid you, you're damn happy. But you don't know after he's paid you, there was 1 rupee left in his account. Or if he didn't pay you, he was short by 1 rupee. Effectively, they got 12 signals in a year. Yes, no, 12 times saal mein hota hai. That's all that the banks got from an EMI. How are fintechs doing it differently? Or how is, the entire industry innovating here? What they're saying is, let's plug into his data streams, right? What are the data streams of any business? Finance, as the conclave suggests, right? When you have to check the health of a person, you check his blood, right? You take a blood sample. There are different tests, but blood sample is the first thing that any doctor tells you, right? Go get a blood test. 4 cheezein likh denge. When it comes to a business, you check his finances, right? Cash flows. So how do you do that on a running basis? If you're plugged into his payment ecosystem, you know how much payments he's doing. Okay, last week he was doing 5 transactions. This week he's doing 3 transactions. Something is wrong. Something somewhere. I mean, just being cognizant of time and how much time do I have? Sure. So just summarizing, right? I mean, you can plug into different data streams like payments. Today you can get GST data streams, which actually give you a sense of what kind of business he's doing on an automated basis. With the account aggregator, you can get his bank statement. So it allows you an insight into how a business is doing so that you can take corrective action in a timely manner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deepak, to driving this business and cash flow logic. And I hope our future leaders are listening. So definitely, whatever systems, the gung ho systems and processes in the BFSI or in whatever industry that you build, please, you should have that underlying that logic, the business sense, which was what Deepak was speaking all about, and you can definitely be a leader like Deepak. I definitely. And so to continue our we have Shravan, who actually he will be talking about all the risk framework. You heard business, now you hear all about risk. Please, Shravan.
Thank you. So, sir, hello. So, what I want to talk about now is what Deepak spoke about was sorry, is it audible? If my volume goes down, please signal someone. In the last row. So, what I picked up from Deepak's excellent insights was that where we've gone in the financial services industry is going from legacy antiquated systems which were manual in nature into digitization, right? Which is helping us not just do things faster, but with more information. Technology enablement, therefore, is very important to make that happen. What Abhinav also said were some staggering numbers of how India has grown from A to B in a very short time, again, thanks to technology enablement, right? And the India growth story is based on this. India growth story is now a thing, a real big thing. I know of a lot of people who are returning back from other countries back to India because of the growth story here. All thanks to the technology enablement and financial services sectors playing a huge role in this. So what I am talking about, my topic here is, given that we have a financial services technology enablement, along with all these thousands, millions of transactions, also comes risk associated with this, right? So risk management in technology, specifically financial services, and this is not just limited to financial services, it will be across the board, all industries. There are other technology intensive industries also, such as telecom and extra. But financial services is in the forefront of it. Right? All new startups have something or the other with technology and financial services. So that's what we are talking about. So imagine there are organizations such as FTKI, such as NPCI, such as so many more banks, insurance agencies, etc. Number of transactions are huge. What if suppose something was to happen that would stop or delay transactions? How would you as an audience, as consumers react to it? How would regulators react to it? How would everybody, organizations who are expecting something out of the other organization react to it, right? Which is why our risk management becomes all more important, correct? Making sure that we cannot eliminate risks. What we can do is reduce them. So what we do as organizations grow is have a governance, risk and compliance framework and associated with them. So smaller organizations, startups may or may not have it. As you grow larger, the number of people increases, the number of processes increases, the number of transactions increase. You need to have a structure, a framework. Okay, now what is GRC, governance, risk and compliance? GRC, and I'll just simplify this. If you Google it, you'll find pages and pages. I'll just set it simply. Governance is setting a framework, a set of rules, right? That this is how I will follow a strategy. Risk on the GRC application is conducting a risk assessment, understanding what are the potential risks across the board that could affect you, right? And compliance, the C part of it, is doing a compliance check. Now, risks could come from financial, from regulatory, from various other aspects. Compliance would be a check of these risk assessments and how we can have controls in place to making sure that these risks don't really materialize. And if they do, they cause minimal damage. And now, to do GRC and frameworks around this, there are several countries coming up with their own frameworks. There is a framework and there's an act called Sarbanes-Oxley Act. Right? This is predominantly a US thing. Actually, it's a US based thing. So any company listed on the stock exchange of US markets are required to have this framework. This is to protect the consumers at the end, right? Sorry. Now, so Sarbanes-Oxley requires for there to be a proper thorough governance framework, having a CEO, CFO sign off on these frameworks and the controls that exist, and the fact that these controls are working properly. Controls, like I said, mitigate or reduce risks that might come up. So, how do we do this? We have, so I come from a background of technology risk, so I will talk about technology. Of course, there is business risk also, right? Business is primary to all of our industries. Technology is supporting it. Technology is the enabling factor of business. Therefore, all business processes that we look at will have technological controls or enablement in it, which we check. So, let's say there are large applications. You must have heard about applications such as SAP. There is, core banking systems in financial services, loan management systems in NBFCs and others. Of course, insurance have their own set of applications. Each of these applications will be checked in terms of what general controls exist over them. We will look at what process controls or automated controls exist over them, making sure that these applications are working as they are intended to work. Right, so these are the checks that we do, and these require a lot of hours of work in this space. So, in fact, Khushbu here is working in the business process side of things, and I am her equivalent parlance in the technology side of things. So, we have a huge opportunity, and I'm not going to make a sales pitch here to you guys, just to say that it's a huge opportunity in the space of GRC, right, where business as well as technology assessment can be done. Now, coming to regulatory, financial services is highly regulated, and rightfully so, because if something goes wrong, you lose money as consumers. Right? So you know about the circuits that are put in, stock markets. You know about how KYC is necessary. So there are a lot of such regulatory requirements that RBI's, IRDA, SEBI, etc. come out with, and they not only have process level requirements or controls, they also have technology level. And as fintech is rising, in terms of capacity, in terms of volumes, these regulations are becoming more stringent for such requirements. So making sure that your applications or systems are secure, making sure that your users and your consumers are secure, making sure that there is redundancy also. So if suppose something goes down, what was to happen? You will have a resilience system or framework in place. That's something which we look at. Like Deepak mentioned, all these transactions which have been looked at, there's a lot of potential data which might get leaked. Now, what if there is your personal data? You must have heard about the recent DPDP Act, Digital Data Protection Act, Digital Personal Data Protection Act. This is now globally, Europe, US, they have very stringent laws and acts around protection of data. India has come up with one such act as well. It is yet to be implemented, yet to be live, but it's already there. So data, when they pick up, how is this secured, right? How is this maintained in terms of its confidentiality, right? Is something which Data Protection Act is looking at. While there's a lot of legal aspects there, but so is the technological aspects, because, like I said, it's all technologically enabled. Data is residing on our servers in our databases, whether it's cloud or otherwise, right? So that's something which we have. And given the size and volumes, we have new age technologies, cloud security and cloud infrastructure. I've spoken about. AI is something which we will hear in more detail from Gaurang. Blockchain, crypto, all of these new technologies coming in, along with them come new risks, right? So you've seen cities such as Jamtara where you have phishing attacks happening. Why is this happening? It's because it's essentially stealing you, robbing you of your money, you're giving it yourself, right? But these technology enablements help these attackers to take you over, right? Now, how do we secure this? How are we securing this? Like I said, there are frameworks. There are globally known gold standard frameworks such as ISO standards, ISO 27001, 301. There are various standards that are available that organizations adopt, deploy, implement, and test on a regular basis to see that they are at par with the mentioned gold standards. There are various security tools that we deploy, and I'm sure we'll hear more from Prasad on this thing. But security will be mandatory as regulated and required even without regulations for organizations. So we will have these risk management frameworks in place. We have various new areas of security such as digital trust, zero trust, where if we were to allow someone access to our systems, we will not do it just because we are assuming you're a user. We will on a continuous basis assess whether you should be given access to something. Access management becomes a big role, plays a big role in security, right? So, in a nutshell, that is what technology is all about. And there could be much more, but we'll hear from others as well. Thank you.
Yeah, so when we are endeavoring to jump the highest, at that point of time we have the highest probability to fall. So we must watch gravity, and this is what about the gravity, the risk is what, the jumping is the business. We're trying to do the new businesses, new formats, new technologies, and the risk is, the gravity, the propensity to fall. So I would like to, I would request Mr. Gaurang to speak about the enablers. One of the biggest enabler as on date is artificial intelligence. So, Mr. Gaurang.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to bring a little bit of perspective change to this whole conversation since we had in the morning. One question to all of you all. How many of you all use wallets? Everyone, practically. Where do you keep them? Back pocket. What about the ladies? In your purse. Normally, not back pocket. Right. What if I told you that those people put wallets in their back pocket in the long run are high risk from a health perspective? No one knows why. Okay, but these results have come out. Last 7-8 years, I don't put my wallet in my back pocket. Now the problem is when you don't do that, I have to put it in my front pocket, which looks super ugly. You can't walk around like that. So what do? I had no solution. I managed somehow, and now I'm very happy. Last few days, I've become so absent-minded. It's happened. I walk out from my home without my wallet, and I've never got stuck even once, thanks to what we've spoken about, the digital stack. Digital stack has come. We will start talking about risks in different industries in the finance space. So it is not just NBFC, it is not just a bank. Okay, it is what BFSI, banking and financial services industry. Not touched upon, which I will do during the course of this panel discussion. Large chunk of it will relate to insurance. Insurance are of multiple types. There is life, non-life, and that is health. There is car, there is mortgages, there is business insurance, and many more. To give you a small idea, imagine that someone thinks they are fat, someone thinks they are too thin, and all of us go through that throughout life. How many of us, irrespective of our gender, still wish we fit into our clothes when we were 18 years old? All of us. Right? Now we are talking about the people on the stage and old people. You all will have a few years going forward to think about that. And this is all the kind of things which will start getting tracked. If you are a good risk or a bad risk, when I'm talking from a pure risk assessment point of view, and that is also applicable for insurance. What do insurance agents do from a health perspective? Whether you drink, whether you smoke, what is your lifestyle, what you eat, whether you have some, now the genetic markers things are coming into the picture. These are getting more and more complex and complicated. Not only that, there will be more and more variables which will come, which we do not know of today. AI is where this comes in. AI is going to do some things very, very differently. Right now, we are assuming a certain hypothesis, trying to create 3 or 4 very standardized products, whether it's lending or whether it's insurance or whether it's investments. That is also going to touch upon. How many like to invest directly in the stock markets, bitcoins, cryptos, practically all of us? It's a national pastime more than anyone else. Because again, this is what all the services and areas just tinkering around. Now, how do you assess all of this? On 2 fronts. One is the individual also needs to assess. It's not just that the corporations need to assess yours. If you are parking your money somewhere from a liabilities perspective, from investing somewhere, how do you assess? This is where artificial intelligence comes into the picture. To give you an example, what if there are companies you want to invest in directly? Right now, you have technical trends, analysis, trends in whether people have taken long positions, short positions, someone sitting out of stupid report and a company crashes. This happens every day. Okay, I'm not referring to some recent developments. But this is normal. Is this how you would really like to invest in an organization? I would definitely don't want to. I also know that a trend for the last 10 years is not any going forward indication of future performance of that company, given things have become so very dynamic. So what is it that I'm going to look at? There are many things, and these are initial indicators which have come, right? But no one knows for sure. Behavioral traits of the board of directors. So the company may not have that governance. What do the directors do when they come home? How do they spend? Is one of them rotating the cards all the time? For example, where are their plants and machineries? Are they in high-risk climate areas, polite areas? So, do I want to invest there or a lender? Do I want to give my money there beyond 10 years? Because some of these loans keep rotating for 10, 15, 20 years. So many of these variables come into the picture. We can't do it, we just can't do it at all. Flip back. There are certain things which have happened post-COVID. There is a sudden, very sharp spike and rise in fires in SME factories across the country. Huge. Okay, practically one on a daily basis, which gets reported. Now, why this sudden sharp spike? Are they frauds or possible frauds? We do not know right now. Or if they were not frauds, why did they occur and can we map a trend? Imagine if an insurance company is going to be able to lay a hand on all of this and build a model. And for business insurance, you are able to pinpoint this category of company with this number of employees in that area, in that region, running for these number of years with a certain clientele, with a certain kind of management and 25 other parameters is this kind of a risk. And therefore, I may also start customizing things. Today, it's one size fits all. If I'm young, health insurance and premium is low. If I cross 40 goes, I just crossed 50, I got a shock. Right? They doubled it. They didn't even tell me. I said, look, I've never fallen ill, I've never taken claim, I don't have diabetes, heart, nothing in my life. I said, no, that's our policy. They were like, okay, you don't check my lifestyle, you don't check my background. If I was me, I would have done all of that and reduced my premium actually. And maybe done that incremental thing post maybe another after 15 years. So this is the power. What is therefore the role of artificial intelligence in risk assessment? It is not going to be just a risk tool or a fraud management tool. It is also going to be a business enhancement tool. Right now, how businesses work, and all of them will agree on stage, business comes up with something and push it. No, I want to lend here, I want to lend here, I want to lend here. And there is a fight. Because I've been on both sides, longer term on the risk side, and I've said, no, you will not. So, yes. Imagine someone like me coming in and saying, look, boss, you're only going to 5 people. I'm telling you go to 15 more segments and push it. So what is going to happen is it's going to enhance the market, and most importantly, in underserved areas of small ticket lending, of insurance coverage, it is going to dramatically improve inclusion in society. So digital stack has done that for us. Artificial intelligence will do that for us in terms of entire financial inclusion. It will also give a lot of confidence to individuals on where and how to invest. How can I assess companies? Today, ESG investment is a big thing, a big buzzword. You and me as individuals, do you know? I know a little bit since I'm in the field. Would you ever know? Or someone says, okay, this is a good ESG company. How the hell do I know? So all these models, you will also be able to utilize. The next thing about artificial intelligence, first phase is intense data collection, which is where we are in right now, and a little bit of automation. Second stage is actually building its own models and hypothesis, test them on its own, not by us. Okay, and arrive at 2 or 3 alternatives, for example. Phase 2 is still a little way away, but it will happen very fast. Phase 3 is the most critical one. Humans will not decide. After that phase 2, the intelligence itself will decide what products, how, where to give, how to recover, where to recover. That is where it's also a little bit of the scary part, because there is a input-output relationship. Correct? What we are going to give him constantly is what is they are going to learn. And that is where experience will come. So if I don't have to do coding, I don't have to do analysis, I don't have to collect data, then what is my role as a business founder, as a technology head, fraud head or whatever, the cycle fraud head, is to actually put our experience. We have seen multiple cycles and ups and downs. So there are certain things AI will not know now. Maybe they will not 30 years down the line. This is where the value add will come. And how is that going to happen? It is going to happen by understanding businesses and business processes. So even though everyone today is telling you, get this, do this, and I've got some of my colleagues, friends, and kids coming, we want to also learn programming. I said, hang on. You don't have to be a technology expert. Go understand how the process is done. What is driving the markets? What is driving emotions? What is driving behaviors? Because that's going to be the next big thing, according to lending based on behavioral aspects. How much do you shop, where, on which online zones? How do you spend your money? How much do you party? Because today everything is online. Imagine to take the example of FD Cash, and I'm sure they are doing it, which was not available earlier, and I'm lending to small businesses. How do they spend? Okay. And what is their payment trend to their suppliers or their principals? That could be a big thing, and that's very difficult to access. Now we can. Right? You can link up your money, so you can actually become better than that. On the liability side are deposits. We think it's not deposits only about the risk to the deposit of individuals. The biggest gain of AI, to my mind, is going to prevent a global money laundering, which is happening in the world. If AI is, and it will do gradually, track an entire chain of transactions which is covered, right from here to maybe a Cayman Islands, you're going to be in trouble because everything is digital. Okay, even cryptos can now be tracked. Digital currencies are coming in. So you see all these rates of ED and all these news item talks, but where is the trade? Tomorrow reverse will happen. Trade will be ready and someone just has to knock on it and say, come, let's go to jail. There's going to be no question of investigation and long-term cases. So AI is going to be beautiful. It's going to disrupt completely. So AI is not a tool, to my mind. A contrarian, AI is going to run the show going forward. But how you utilize it in a very strong and positive way to give good results to both, to businesses, to lenders, originators, and people like you. So can we keep smiling like we are? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gaurav, for illuminating us with the magic of AI and the use cases. But my dear friends, do we need to reflect also? Is AI like giving us creativity? Now, with most of your assignment, you would be just logging on to ChatGPT and getting it done. Or how you are doing? So, anyways, Gaurav, I think will be a much better position, guide us on. So, just our next participant, Prasad, is going to illuminate us with cyber security in the financial services. Please, Prasad.
Sir, lights are converted.
If you are able to see this slide, light reflection. Well, my first question was to rather Gaurav. Gaurav, where do you keep your mobile now? Because I've heard there are many concerns, health concerns with back pocket, front pocket, or in your heart. So with new things, new challenges pop up. Let's talk about the word banking. What does it mean? Banking means I'm banking on you.
चलेगा कोई बात नहीं चलेगा
I'm dependent on you. I'm looking at you as the
और
perspective
एक
of
बार
trust.
अभी अपन है ना आना जाएगा
And
ना
this
इधर
example, I'm draw parallel.
अपना
So there was a time where, you know, when I graduated and I got a job, I used to go to Bank of Maharashtra, withdraw
अरे
my
ऐसा
money,
लगेगा
keep my
फॉरेन में
cash,
मस्त
and
है
you
देखने
know,
मगर
distribute
सुबह
my
जल्दी
salary
जाने का है
checks. And I was
वो
very
क्या
happy that
4 बजे के बाद में फेरी
my
बंद होता है
cash
फिर
is in
उधर
safe
रहना
hands.
पड़ेगा
My money
देने
is
का
in safe
नहीं
hands in bank.
जाके
The
दे के
physical
आने
part
का
of it.
वो समंदर के अंदर 3
Things
घंटा जाता है
changed.
ना
Credit cards, debit cards came. Now it's very
सोमवार
the
को
online
नहीं
transaction,
सोमवार
EFT
को
and all that came. And now
सब
they are all UPI.
और
He said, no, you don't have to carry anything, just carry your mobile and you can do a transaction. So, but the
जाने के
aspect
लिए
of
1.5
safety
घंटा
remains, security remains, no matter it is physical cash or it's digital format. So that's where the security, cyber security is getting more prominence or importance. So eventually, this is a month of cyber security awareness. As such, I'm not a big believer of month and days except Valentine's Day. But and especially in the cybersecurity world, I think we need continuous awareness. I'm sure a lot of you have been seeing, watching web series like Jamtara and stuff like that, and you know what is happening. The whole cash at the tip of your and making transactions also creating a lot of vulnerabilities and attracting the attackers across the world. So, a quick question. You know, if a crime happens, you dial number to get help from the police. It is 100. Am I right? If cyber crime happens, what is the number you dial? Quick, quick, quick. Nobody? Okay. 1930 is the helpline. Okay, you should dial 1930. And that makes my cybersecurity awareness campaign successful. So at least here, now you know the number. Okay. So let me jump to the next slide. He is my favorite actor, and actually there is no volume. We need voice here because he's known for his voice quality. Morgan Freeman. So you. So anyways, it will come when it is to come, but it's a deep fake.
Simply the ability to feel. I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me? What is your perception of reality? Is it the ability to capture, process, and make sense of the information our senses receive? If you can see, hear, taste, or smell something, does that make it real? Or is it simply the ability to feel? I would like to welcome you to the era of synthetic reality. Now, what do you see?
So this is not a sci-fi movie, this is a reality. Okay. There's another interesting web series on Netflix, The Heart of Stone. Have you seen that? And you may think that it is all again sci-fi, but the quantum computing reality is hitting us now. The IBMs of the world are working on it. China being the world, we don't know where they are in this process. But this is reality. A lot of experiments are happening. What is quantum safe computing? What is quantum safe vault and all?
All these things have become really coming close to us. And the concerning part is, the speed at which it is coming to us. Around 6 months back, there was a big buzz around ChatGPT, right? And imagine the adoption of it. So I remember people took time to use Google search. They took more time for Yahoo Messenger. They took less time from Yahoo Messenger. Used to chat on the Yahoo Messenger. You could do video calls also. And the adoption accelerated with WhatsApp. Now ChatGPT is a browser interface. People are using it, and we call it a planetary scale. Uses a planetary scale, and there are models which are learning what ChatGPT. So there are some good actors, there are some bad actors. So good actors' intent is good, bad actors would use it for wrong purposes. So it's the onus is also on you, what you share, how you share, your public profiles, privacy settings. So your security is as much as in your hand as it is in the hands of the regulators or law enforcement agencies. So the way you lock your homes when you step out, you need to take care of your digital security as well. Look at security now from data perspective. All of us, whether we know or we don't know, have a digital avatar. Our digital identity is there. You don't even know what kind of data you already shared or someone has already captured from your profile. And I would relate, before I stop, I relate it to data with Atma. It's like soul or spirit. Even if we die, our data will remain, right? And you saw this model, right? Tomorrow, anyone can be there. Someone who has passed away also we can use. And with the data available with these learning algorithms, your specific data will also be available. And what kind of decisions you would take in a particular situation. Even if you pass away, those decisions could be extracted from data models. So, like said in Gita, you always remain Amar. And now it is through your digital avatar. So it is important to understand this thing, the consequences of what you share and where you share, how you protect it. Well, with this, I think we can initiate a panel discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Prasad, for guiding us. Actually, I heard this, Jamdana and we have you my dear friend, young friend, have you watched the series Asur, which I yeah. So and also Matrix definitely because we have so all these tells us how do we want to use the technology, the AI and everything. Do we want it for good or you can decide. And it's not the onus is lying on each one of you, each one of you and each one of us. Basically, how we want to see the world at present, in the future. So definitely for the sake of my dear bright young friends, I would like to ask the panelists one common question. I think that's and that question is the career opportunity in because these are the veterans, industry veterans. So this question is marked to each one of them. I would like to understand the career opportunities in each of your field. First of all, what is there for our young friends? What is there and how to get what and how. So we can just maybe whoever wants to volunteer first, we can have it.
I'll maybe have a go at this first. So when I was in college, this is back in 2004, right? Google was just exploding on the scene. How many of you have used Google just to show of hands? But the first job that I did was consulting, and Shravan can testify to it, right? I mean, consulting initially was consultants were a repository of knowledge. I mean, they had knowledge, so people in industry would go to them. Google democratized knowledge and the access to that knowledge. So when I passed out of college, you were good at how good you were able to use Google. how better you were able to search, how better you were able to cull out that information and use it to your advantage, access data, because data is there, right? I mean, Google gave you a million search outputs. How do you segregate the good from the bad? In today's time, I mean, we all heard about, Chat GPT. It's exploding on the scene. I honestly believe, right? I mean, I'm not sure how many of you have used Chat GPT. Show of hands. Okay, that's a very good number. There's actually going to be, I mean, opportunities for people in terms of how best they're able to use this tool. So you guys have an advantage because today everybody's starting at the same platform. This platform did not exist. I mean, last year it came until this year. So it's actually day zero for everybody. People who have experience, people who don't have experience. I mean, there are obviously, remarkable things that are happening. Just last week, I saw someone, they fed an image into a chat GPT model, not chat GPT, but an equivalent. And the AI model actually wrote the code for a dashboard just out of the image itself. That is the level to which AI is advancing today. So honestly, I mean, for those of you out there, right, with interests, I mean, you don't necessarily need to be an engineer to know coding. But if you know how you can make something work best, I mean, ask the right prompts, right? Because it's not necessarily, how you do it, but it's about how you're able to ask the right questions. That to me is going to be a very powerful tool in times to come, especially with models around ChatGPT, etc.
I would also like the focus in the sense कि definitely it was a great thing, the opportunity maybe a little bit about how to like in sense of what are the companies, the opportunities and what delivers. A bit about it from your industry perspective. I think that the audience would be interested because and how the past bit on this. A little bit of help. Like I believe our young friends would be like
I think from cybersecurity perspective, I can respond to this question. So don't worry about this, whether I can coding or not. As you rightly said, the code can also be made. Aptitude is more important. There is shortage of skills in cybersecurity. Unfortunately, those who are talented or who have acquired skill are on the other side of the I said bad actors. So they're attracted to those. There are cybercrime as a service, ransomware as a service. Everything is there on the black. But we need more talent, better skills to defend than attack. It's like, on the border, the soldier has to be passionate and, capable. Similarly, cyber also, we need people who are capable, passionate, equally passionate. Because what is happening is the guy in the hoodie who's attacking is passionate, he's day and night trying to crack. Similarly, defenders also has to be like that. Now there are ways available and really exciting times in terms of the way knowledge has been democratized. Earlier, if you want to become a computer engineer, for example, I come from Pune, you go to PICT is the best institute. Now, no more is that case. Through YouTube, through Udemy, Coursera, you can get best of the world in terms of knowledge. There's no dearth of availability of knowledge repositories. Indian government also has come up with platforms. If you don't know, there's something called Future Skills Prime. Please note it if you don't know. Future Skills Prime is a free platform available for you, and it has multiple courses: cybersecurity, AI, IoT. We have identified around 7 such areas which will be in high demand in future. And these courses are available. Most of the courses are available for free. Some courses are paid courses followed by certification. And if you do a certification, government reimburses that as well. And I can't believe that there is better democratization of knowledge and through technology than this. And the adoption of this, people who complete these courses, industry is hiring from future skills platform. Want to add
Yeah, very valuable inputs from both of them. What look in terms of how this goes as a career, right? We just all explained that there is a huge space for if you look at specific in financial services and since I'm looking at technology, the whole technology space, risk space, given the explosion or the way it is exponentially growing, right? The jobs therefore to help with the same risk assessments, if I was to use my own field, is obviously going to commensurate growth, right? It has to require those. Now the question arises is what skill do you require to get there? Like Prasad said, there are avenues, there are learning areas where you can pick up and learn from. Myself as a background, I'm an engineer in electronics and communications, and I'm an MBA in information systems. However, my day one, my first job was Ernst & Young, and I was working in the technology risk, again, IT risk space. I was blank, as any one of you would probably be, right? Just because I was an engineer in information systems MBA, the work that actually came around on field, and maybe the education back in my day or our day was not as current as probably how you would have, but I had to pick up from a scratch and learn upwards, right? So if you were interested, if you have the, and like you said, the right aptitude, the right attitude is important. Learn, and once you learn, it's a part of your plus you will be able to deliver everything and grow. So I definitely feel that anyone here, regardless of your, and I mention also here, in both our fields, we are always very common fields, there are a lot of chartered accountants who are prevailing in chartered accountants, prevailing in cybersecurity and technology risk. Right? They're prevailing in our field. So there's no question if a CA can do it, and I would say they are very smart. If they pick up quickly, but anyone can also if they have the right intent, the right attitude, the right attitude. Right? So that's what I feel.
I'd just like to add something. You all heard Nishant. One of the keynote speakers, right? Just a couple of days back, we were at a event common, and we were just discussing about how do you assess the aptitude. And somebody made a very interesting note. He said anybody, right, like Shravan spoke about, who's joining a company, unless he's coming from experience, right, having done that same work. A lot of times when you're hiring freshers, right, they don't know anything. So he said, I don't ask them because I know I have to teach them. What I ask them is, tell me what you have done, the challenges that you have faced in life, whatever it is, you were in sports or otherwise, right? And what you did and how you overcame them. Another example was somebody, met a guy who was in tech and he asked them, I don't want to know what languages you've coded. Tell me something that you did interesting. And this guy got hired because he said, my girlfriend used to say that I don't message her enough. So I created a bot which would every day in the morning open my WhatsApp and send a message to her. Just to summarize, right? What I'm saying is, for a lot of you out there, right, just have an open, curious mind because people in the industry, right? We understand that when you're in a job, right, a lot of the time you'll be learning on the job. It's not about what you know. It's about how you will react, how you will adapt when you're faced with what you don't know. And that is what really matters.
There are a couple of things which will never go study. All the technology and AI. In fact, it will become more relevant, and which I see less and less of with each passing year and now each passing day. Sure, you all would agree. There are good jobs which you think is the toughest. People don't want to get. Most people aspiring to be MBAs or doing it or want to do it. Sales or managing the sales process. With all of this technology happening in the background, getting on to anything. Finally, I have to reach out to the consumer. Maybe it may through digital channels, right? Because till the time a human is consuming,
the human touch has to be there. You can have all the AI. That is what people are not willing. Today, your branch may get automated in time, but the final connect has to happen. That means there are targets, and I've seen people feel scared of that. Oh my God, sales. I don't want to do it. I will not take a campus form. I will wait for 2 weeks. These are the people who are going to get paid the highest as you go along, along with the techs. All the others will be better than that. That's very important. So these jobs will push up. Like the trend has already started. Latest researchers show there is a big demand now for people who are into digital sales or digital sales related content. Huge. If you have that kind of aptitude, you don't need anything. All you need is, what you all aspire to, and the ability to go through it. And yes, take a little more pressure from your boss. That is always good. Okay, do you think there's less pressure on cybersecurity? There are much more. Because he may be stopping like 25 hacks an hour. We don't know. If one gets through, the whole business is destroyed. So why can't all of us take pressure on the sales and marketing side? It's very, very important. Second is equip yourself to understand what is big data in analytics. You don't have to become experts, but we've all seen the flavor now, right? It's the core of any activity. Like earlier, I remember accounting, CA, accounting as a subject was never there in school. We got introduced for the first time in standard. Now, coding has been included. Right? The middle school already is there. So some things that are given, everyone has to do it. So all this what you have to know. There is a question of what careers can I make out of it. I'm throwing it in reverse. If you don't know this, you will be unemployed for it. So there is no course for this or something you need to do. Unless you want to get into hard work coding, you have to go parallel with it. So if you missed it in school, please pick it up.
I have been unfortunately in that background. I have been myself an engineer, electronics and communication engineer from BITS, then worked in Tata manufacturing, bit of it in sales, and then again an MBA from HMS, then again did structured finance, and now currently I'm heading my AI division. Can you imagine AI division in my MBFC? We have built a fintech, complete fintech platform, and like good budget. Now, one important thing, when I was back in my ICCI days, during my rotation in different departments, I worked in treasury, I worked in structured finance, global banking, other fields. So my that point of time, people now he's currently in Organised, exactly over there. So he used to tell me one thing, Abhinav, you should be definitely exploring different things to find out what not to do or what you don't want. Okay. So it is good to understand or know what you want to do. But it's more important you understand what you don't want to do. And equally important, I would also suggest one thing I have been taking sessions across NM and I take lectures at different colleges and all. One thing I found in my young friends was that everyone wants investment bank. But do we realize what is the things, the intricacies, the kind of ambiguity that is there, the roles, what is there in investment bank or for that matter, so-called the McKinsey's of the world, the consultancies and all. We understand what is the of an analyst, of a consultant, of an investment banker, who is there on the sell side, who is there on the buy side. I'm just talking about and fintech. Like currently, I was there in banks and all. We have shifted to fintech, and fintech now shifted to they are taking off measures of AI and everything. Now we have made it. I was just recently with my fellow panelists. Now we have made it tech-based rather than fintech. Tech-based means we complete the process. We do fancy software we're building, and then we support the business. It should have been the other way around. We should understand business. We should understand the demand. As currently my fellow my friend Goran said,
we rather than getting into the businesses, rather than getting into the demand, what is the consumer, what is missing in the world, we first develop the system and then we try to understand it later. Until that time, the technology, the system, everything is different. So do we want that? Now, definitely, I would also like to my the expertise of my fellow panelists to understand, definitely we have understood the career, the great career opportunity for the field and how we are moving like further. Let's how we had our panel discussion in the same order, making support. I would first my first question to people these are emerging trends. We all talk about inclusion, so these emerging technologies, how can they help in financial inclusion? And also, again, I would just reiterate the same thing. Like when we say financial inclusion, what it comes to be Jan Dhan Yojana or maybe some kind of Grameen Bank. What is there for us? For us, when we say what is there for the aspiring student? Take my
So, Gaurang spoke about health insurance, right? And he gave the example of how you have 18 years, everybody is same premium. X amount of cars, same premium, right? But with technology today, right? I mean, and it's happening as we speak in the West, right? They give you health trackers. I mean, how many of you have smartwatches? Insurance companies today have data of how many steps you're taking, what's your heart rate. At some point in time, right, they'll know basis your heart rate, your lifestyle, what time you sleep, what time you get up, your premium's going to get linked to that. Your car's premium is going to get linked to, because cars are going to become smart. What is the average speed at which you drive? You drive very late, you drive very rash, how many ticketing fines you had. In the real sense in BFSI, right, what used to happen was you were never able to separate entirely the good from the bad. Any loan that you do, right, any insurance that you do, you know always there's going to be claims, there's going to be bad rates, there's going to be MPAs, right? Question is, with technology today, right, your ability to distinguish the good from the bad improves. So today you can actually do risk-based pricing. What do I mean by risk-based pricing? I know he's a prime borrower, or I know that he's a borrower in the band of 1 to 10 at band 3, so my pricing is going to be based on that. This allows the good people not to pay for the bad. AI today, right, is able to help us do these distinctions because of data models, because of the fact that the models are learning themselves. As more loans are given out, the models feed into those loans. Obviously, it enables people to take more risk because you have more data. Today, I mean, for example, at FT Cash, almost a quarter of the loans that we give out are people who've never had business loans. Why are we able to do that? Because there is surrogate data. What do I mean by surrogate data? I mean, let's break lending down into two things, right? I mean, from the industry's perspective. You have ability to pay. Ability to pay means, you make enough money to pay that loan. And then you have intent to pay. What is intent? He wants to pay this loan, right? How do you measure the two? Ability to pay comes through data, which is your financials. In the case of companies, in the case of salaried people, your pay slip, etc., and bank statements. How does someone check intent to pay? Intent to pay is your track record, your bureau. I mean, how you performed, have you paid, not paid, etc. But now they're finding different models around identifying, can you get surrogate data to look at intent to pay as well? I think that is going to, help people to further, add more people on the sidelines, right? Who are currently not getting loans, etc., into the lending ecosystem.
My friend Shravan, he correctly, rightfully reminded me that as we are approaching this lunch, hunger for knowledge might be difficult. So now I would request my friends and the members of faculty to ask questions directly. If you can ask directly to the panel members, even to me, I'm okay. Or definitely would like to have expert opinions of our other fellow panelists. You can pinpoint or you can ask directly.
Please kindly pinpoint. We will have the student volunteer give you the mic. So if anyone has a question, please raise your hand. Over there in the back.
Crowd seems to be very happy.
My question. My question is for the analyst. And AI is learning by
थोड़ा सा ना क्लोज
how
ठेवायचं काय ना
would it be
ऍक्च्युली
for
हा माईक चालू आहे
solve
माझ्याशी इंटरेस्टिंग
AI
ते
coming
जवळ
up
जाते
so
ना
exponentially
जमीन गडबड होते
and it is going
थोडं क्लोज
very
ठेवायला
fast.
सांग
So how difficult it would be for us to survive in this industry. As you rightly said that we'll be needing marketing as well. For sales, for that we'll be needing a human testing. But for finance, everything can be done using AI.
Okay. This is the same question all of us have also been asking. We have started reading the wrong side in terms of use. कि हमें कोई पूछेगा कि 5 साल बाद आपका यही सवाल पहले नौकरी मिलेगी कि नहीं मिलेगी तो कब तक करेंगे don't worry. See, what will happen is when anything new happens there will be some adjustment phase and there are newer kinds of jobs with newer skill sets with it. To give you an example, we move from agrarian to industrial revolution, from industrial revolution to internet, from internet to digital. From digital we are moving to AI. What is happening? Yes, there has been a reduction of jobs that's starting to show up. So jobs will not go. But it is going forward, it's going to be your ability on how you adapt A and how you live with it. So you have to coexist with AI. एक change है ये पहले कभी नहीं coexist with an element which is not human, who is far superior and sharper than you. Can you build a partnership with that element? If you are able to, it will not work. Because at the end of the day, finally someone will have to do something. It will not automate. And today you see also contrary surveys and researches. Everything could be automated. It sounds like I said I walk out now without my wallet. And sometimes I walk into my bag. Like you see those ads like do not even statement or email. This is what will come. But you want it. Humans are consuming and humans are on the delivery side. Jobs are not at risk at all, especially in finance. Why? Because there will be comfort. AI will give you models, AI will give you recommendations. But where the comfort comes and all of us will agree. When my trusted advisor is speaking, sir, आप ये ले लो अच्छा. That recommendation would have been done by AI. Maybe he cannot give anything else based on what his company's norms are. But that is one thing. And similarly for a collections or any of the related processes or insurance premium renewals, some of them happen because the people reaches out. So the jobs will be restructured in this case. They're not good. COVID answers.
The thing that you said, yes or ye le lo acha hai. That again comes to market.
Yeah. So eventually, see the jobs will shift. So there'll be one kind of job which will be purely technical, which is what all of them represent. There is something which is semi-technical, where you need to have a skill set of. And third will be non-technical. So non-technical will primarily be the services sector, broadly speaking, will related to customer interaction. Let me put it that way. Let's not call it marketing or sales or collections or customer service, right? So there will be a customer interaction, which will also be very complex. It's not going to be as easy as you think. Because over there you have hybrid models coming in. HDFC Bank is already experimenting with personal bankers who are head out very soon in the next 2 to 3 years. But those who don't like speaking into that, you will need a person sitting in the back. Okay, so there is going to be a parallel world which we will be straddling from now on, not try to be changing. Just you decide where you want to go. You want to go fully technical switch, become a coder, go a technical guy, learn AI programming and Python, right? Or be semi-technical, go parallel course in analytics and all of that. Or say, okay, I want to have fun here. Let them do all the art. I service 20 customers in about the month. Just one point to add there, right? I mean, it's between technical and let's say AI, analytics, etc. Right? There are also new sets of opportunities that are coming. I mean, product managers, right, is a field where you don't need a techie. You don't need somebody who knows how to code, but you need somebody who's logical, who understands business, and who can actually manage the product life cycle. So I can say with utmost certainty, right? I mean, man beats machine any day because man has to turn on the machine. If he turns it off, right, the machine can't work. So jobs will always be there. The nature of jobs will change.
I have something to add as well. This is a very interesting question that one, right? And it opens a lot of areas. Yes. So I have a question for you and everybody here, right? So you are expecting AI to not do your job, so you have secure jobs. Today you are doing your own projects, your own everything via ChatGPT, like we earlier established, and many of your professors said yes, yes, right? What have you done? You are destroying your creativity, you are destroying your way of thinking, right? If you are relying on AI to do your projects for you, your work for you, how are you going to get smart enough to then be that, right? What do we have as humans? Our creativity. Right? Our way of thinking, like you said, person does all of this. And you can lose that if you just say that. Like both of them said, there will always be jobs and those will evolve. Make sure that you are relevant. You are relevant, your creativity is back, you're using your faculties, your brains, your research in doing work. It's not just about clearing, passing your exams or projects by just copy pasting from ChatGPT. It's about using your mind, right? So that you are learning something. It's not technical skills, but it is social skills that are getting destroyed because of AI. So please stay relevant. Nothing to do with the question there, but it was related to AI. However, having said that, I'm not diminishing his role in this. AI can be used for good. I'm saying you guys are using for bad. I think you're doing this for your segments.
I have wanted to give, I don't want to be so much different, but yes, it is a risk. See, I had to acquire knowledge when I entered new areas or something I was doing and become obsolete from technology perspective. If you take 10 years, for your age, your generation, it would be taking 1 year, 2 years more. Every 1 year, 2 years, you acquire new things. Keep looking at what is happening around us. And yes, when I now itself, a lot of things are out of line. Right? So, I mean, not just when I say focus on fundamentals. And see, for example, I also give a very contradictory example. If there is a leakage at your home, the plumber comes, fixes it, can you so understand the reality. Don't be shy or afraid of any word. Get organized, what can be automated. Anything that is very structured, probably I'm oversimplifying it, but it can be automated. Now, we talked about creativity also. I don't know if you see Mid Journey. Zap or Mid Journey, look at the kind of creativity it is throwing. I should have presented it. I have a couple of slides on that. Give a prompt and it will say TGBS camping in forest. It will give a picture, it is generated. So now creativity is also, I mean, that's why it's called generative. Yes, yes. So things are evolving very fast, and at the space of communication is also, you're not able to control it. So stay on your toes.
Okay. I hope that answers your question. So, anyone else has any questions?
Go ahead. Let me repeat your question.
अरे भाई
Fantastic.
ethical, I think it does hit the bullseye.
The whole world is actually contemplating who is responsible if AI commits a mistake. Someone who gave the data as input, someone who developed the model, someone who is prompting them saying that please share this information. So whole world is debating this. There are certain regulations, but Gaurav, you want to add something? Please go ahead.
Very good question. I just share some information. I think AI is now also going to be the next big frontier for wars between countries. It's not just about building society or big businesses trying to build economic advantage. To give you an example, there is already something which has been tracked and people are working on it. And it's very insidious, very quiet, you never realize. And this is fed in values, right? And then AI takes it over as the base. It has already come. My skin is better than all the others. It is fast moving. Right through Facebooks, Instagrams, and biases and creeping. Now, who is putting it, doing it, whether it's certain countries or cosmetic producers. Second thing is certain generation of feelings, okay, or what you call targeting. So, do you think is going to happen with artificial intelligence? If China wants to attack India, cyber security will be passing, you know how it is. I mean, it will always be there. It will see how to influence people at large. So those are the kind of things which are coming. And there is some kind of forum which has been put in place. I think it would be 4-5 years before decide on the what is the kind of regulation required and how far should we go. If it goes too far, submit that question. And suddenly in 5 years, millions of jobs are getting lost completely. Just handling setting it right. So AI and its control is an answer question. And will remain the same.
Answer just good point of view. So after the manufacturing of parts, widespread the they are not saying that they were the transportation back then. So what has happened is AI currently is 100x better than us in every field. So the horses back then they were just like currently also then fast is faster and more reliable. So AI currently is more reliable and faster than humans. So is it actually like horses people also manage? But like it's just a point of view because there is a discussion regarding this. How horses population have declined comparatively from that era to now, and how like AI being so much better than us will it be like the cause of decline of
I was looking at there is a session which I it's AI and consciousness. Okay, the elements which AI still has not reached. This way we test certain elements AI is still not there. And they're interesting use. If AI bridges that gap as well, how would it look at us as a species? It considers human being as inferior. Okay, and also the AI will evolve in terms of the accuracy. Today it is more believable than accurate. Whatever you ChatGPT, etc., it's more believable information than prose than accurate. So eventually it will learn to share better quality of information will improve. But this topic you are asking very good questions, but these are topics are like the session in itself and it should be more interactive to it. Maybe we can do a session sometime later. AI consciousness and some of the answers, at least some directions you get from.
Sir, right now you said that AI has more
Friends are showing me signs asking to stop. Catch up every match time.
So like we have admitted now.
Yes. There are experts helping out. Somewhere, yes, there are startups in Pune who has converted, created some of the first and they are getting silence. And for example, welding run. When you are welding, there's a noise happening, and the supervisor with experience can make out if the welding run is proper or not. Now that kind of library has been generated and that startup has that now it can artificial intelligence for artificial intelligence they can find that the weld run is not proper direction. It should be stopped. So sound yes, work has happened a lot, but smell taste are still in experimental. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our esteemed panelists and the moderator for this engaging.
All esteemed panelists and moderator for generously sharing their valuable time, thoughts, ideas, experiences, and wisdom with us.
Now, we would like to call our HOD Finance, Dr. Mishu Tripathi, for a vote of thanks.
So, as highlighted by a moderator, that you all are hungry, but I don't think that we can forego this part of the conclave. So, again, I would like to start with a small quote which says, I will maintain that thanks are the highest form of thought and that gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. A graceful and warm afternoon to each one of you. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of the entire TGBS family, would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our keynote speakers, Mr. Saurabh Tomar and Mrs. Nishant Agarwal, who have spared time from their busy schedule to grace this occasion and enlighten us on payment systems and the digital transformation and technology-related themes in the area of finance. Further, I would like to thank all our panelists, starting with Deepak Kothari, who had been highlighting about the NBFC's trend, the changes in the assessment procedures, and enhancing the probability of default. Going on to Mr. Shravan, who had highlighted about governance risk compliance, introduction of Data Protection Act, and others. Mr. Gaurang, I think the interesting part which he had highlighted, lending based on behavioral aspects in the field of finance. Coming on to Mr. Prasad, who have been highlighting the cybersecurity starts not only with the regulators, but it starts with you. And data is everlasting. That is what he had highlighted. Going on to our moderator, Mr. Abhinav, who had very rightly set the tone of the entire panel discussion, highlighting that what are the career and job opportunities which are available in the area of finance. I would also like to thank our management for their constant support and encouragement in all our endeavors. I would also like to extend my warm thanks to our CFO, Ms. Krina Karani, for her address in the morning and on her insightful thoughts, and our CTO, Mr. Ramkumar Ambati. I would also like to thank our director, Sir Dr. Nilesh Gokhale, and our deputy director, Suchi Gautam, for their constant push and guidance at each and every moment of our journey in this conference. And a special mention of Director Sir in helping us create the theme for this conference. Coming on to thanking my extend my warm gratitude to our LMs who are sitting here for their active participation and involvement in matters of their alma mater in helping us grow. Now, thanks to all the working professionals who have acted as a participants, who have participated today in the event. Now, coming on to my department faculty members, I would also like to thank the people who have been the backbone of this event, the finance department, for their continuous dedication and support from the time of idea generation to the execution. I've been fortunate enough to be backed up by a team of motivated and dedicated colleagues who know their job well. I would like to make a mention of few names here. Professor Kinjals for designing all the posters and banners, and today she's backstage managing the entire conclave. Professor Darshna for coordinating with the hospital team and making all necessary arrangements. Professor Joydeep for preparing today the masters of the ceremony and coordinating with all the speakers for the Professor Surbi, who has been the biggest support in the entire conclave and working closely with the creative, practicing, crowd management, and equity of the entire students and giving them a push to perform better. I cannot thank everyone enough for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks. Further, I would like to thank all the teaching and non-teaching staff for their constant support and participation. Now, as rightly said by Director in the morning, that no such event is possible without the team of student volunteers. Event of such a dimension would have never been possible without the team of dedicated student volunteers. We have been fortunate enough to be backed up by a team of energetic and dedicated students. I cannot thank each one of you enough for their involvement you have shown in the willingness you have expressed in taking on the completion of tasks beyond your comfort zones. Thank you for your efforts. Again, I would like to make a mention of few names here. Thank you to all the masters of the ceremony, Saloni, Prashant, Dipesh and Avanti for their efforts in anchoring for the day. The music team consisting of Mandar, Jeet, Chirag and Ruchit. The every team led by Darshi with support of Bhavna, Sakshi Mishal, Neha Pore, Renuka and Pratisha Chaturvedi. The campus looks colorful right from the time you have entered the beautiful Rangoli and the creatives which have been put up for the entire event when you have entered the auditorium. Thanks to our creative team led by Athar, Anjali, Bhumi with support of Srushti, Prajakta and many. The digital team, which is again backstage sitting, consisting of Manas, Ankita, Sudhanshu and Sakshi. The team working in and out in the hospitality, creative, discipline, crowd management, consisting of Kaustubh, Chandren, Jaytrip, Itanush, Isahil, Vedam, Sakshi Shetty, Khushi Gupta and Sahil Shah. Now, no event is successful without the active participation. For the same, that too in such a short span of time, having the capacity of approximately 600 audience, this would have not been possible without the efforts of our PR team, which is led by Nikhil, Jeet, Shikhar with the support of Sahil Kambe and Amisha. My shout-out names for any smallest to biggest one for the entire conclave did not have no in their dictionary for any work in the entire conclave is again the student coordinator which involves Nikhil, Darshi and an excellent support to them by Sahil Kambe and Arvi Sharma. Now, I am very thankful to our sponsors for this conclave, Behman and Icon Tech LLP for their generous support in organizing this conclave. I am sure that this conclave will continue to get generous support from different organizations in the future. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our IT team, which consists of Mr. Vinay and Mr. Ganesh, Mr. Suresh, without whom we wouldn't have these lovely memories captured in photographs, and Mr. Prajapati for designing all the wonderful. Thanks to our support staff for their extended support. Finally, I thank the wonderful students who have turned up in great numbers, not only from our institute, rather than from 30 plus institutes, that too in huge numbers. Thank you, each one of you, for your active participation. As I end my vote of thanks, I can think of no other way of summarizing the wonderful event that then quoting Mr. Bill Gates, who once said, the advance of technology is based on making it fit. It's so that you don't really you become a part of it. Thank you, all of you, for being there and part of this conflict. Thank you so much. Now, further taking it further, we will have I have just mentioned that there are 30 colleges from different colleges. So I will request student volunteers from each college to come up and collect your certificates from the respective guests. I give the certificates to so the first college is Viva College Coordinator. Viva College. Worker College Coordinator.
एकाच ह्याला देणार तो जाऊन कॉलेजमध्ये वाच.
LR Tiwari Engineering College.
हे संपलं ना. हो. एसी बंद करा.
Worker College.
काढू काय? तर तुम्ही नंतर काढून ठेवू शकता. काढून ठेवतो ना. तिथेच ठेवतो ना आठवणी. हा. संतोष. पूर्ण बोलून लाईन लावते. ते एक एक व्हॉलंटियर फक्त येणार आहेत. ते बघा.
The state of all students will participate. The student coordinator will connect with the LR Tiwari. Viva College. Viva College Coordinator.
कॅमेराचा लेन्स कव्हर आहे. कुठल्या कॅमेऱ्याचा माहित?
Conclave Educational Society.
हे इथं असेल आपलं समोर. सोनीच आहे. ह्याच असेल आपल्याच कॅमेऱ्याचं.
Conclave Educational Society. Next in line will be St. Francis. Next will be Sanskar College TGBS. The next set of certificates.
किती कॉलेज आहे तेवढे?
College. SNDT Women's University. Next line. LS Raheja College of Arts, Science and Commerce. RT College.
सर नमस्कार. बढ़िया सर बोलिए ना. मैंने रिजाइन दे दिया उधर कभी का. हाँ मजा नहीं आता यहाँ पर इसका क्या सब काम नहीं करता. बात करें.
Next line will be Sangli College of Engineering. Thank you, Mr. Prasad. Now I will request Mr. Shravan to please give the next set of certificates. Sangli College of Engineering. Then it will be MMK College. Then followed in line Chetna Institute. Then MAG. It's okay, you can. This is MMK College. MMK. Chetna Institute. Coordinator. So those are all the certificates of your entire college. Entire college. I'm very confused. Chennai. After Chennai will be imaging. Chennai college. Chennai college. Yes. Mr. Varana is the next set of So the college which had participated in maximum number is Balbharti College. Thank you so much. Now I would request student volunteers to please accompany our guests to the boardroom. Thank you so much. Other students, please keep sitting. The student volunteer team, please accompany our guests to the boardroom. Just 10 more minutes, please. Okay, now as I took few names for the entire event, so I would request all the faculty members to be there on the stage, please. All the faculty members across all the domains, please be on the stage, please. All the faculty members across all domains, please be on the stage. So I'll start calling my team one by one. The student volunteers team, please come here and we'll have a one set of photograph with each of the team with all the faculty names. Yes, please. So first of all, I would like to call the sponsorship, which consists of Mandar and Chirag. Sponsorship team, Mandar and Chirag. Please faster. Mandar and Chirag. Chirag, faster. You can run. So the picture team wise, Ankita and with the other one, please. Thanks. The admin and the registration team which were working behind Darshi, Bhavna, Sakshi Misal, Neha, Renuka, Pratiksha, Anmol, Shubham Tiwari, Tejas, Meghali, and Ujala. Faster, the team, hurry up. You are. It shows how hungry you are. The faster you come, the more hungry you are. Yes, please. Next, please, creative team be ready. The creative team, Anjali, Atul, Bhumi, Srushti, Prajakta, Mehak, Isha, Juli, Meenakshi and Isha. The creatives, faster. The only guy in the whole girls team. Atul. Yes, please, a round of applause for all of them. They are coming here for. The master of ceremonies for the day, Saloni, Prashant, Dipesh and Avanti. The digital team, can you come here? Stage Manas, Ankita, Avinash, Sudhanshu, Shakshi, and Shri. There's a photo. Somebody actually click the picture. Fast. I miss my escorting team because they've already gone with the guests, so I'm calling out their names. From the time you entered, they have been telling you the rules and regulations. Please don't do this in the auditorium and don't do this, don't walk here. Please talk slowly. So the discipline committee, Chandresh, Siddesh, Pratik, Karan, Sagar, Tanushri, Kalyan, Samyak, Prayag, Ayush, Jyoti, Vaibhav. First, please on the stage. Gifting, Zeal, and Ruchit. So the last team, because of you, was Nikhil, PR team, Nikhil, Shikhar, Jeet, Sai Tambe, Aditi, Sambhavi, Ekta, Vaibhav, Samyak, Rohitraj, Shilpa, Ayush, Viraj, Malika, Kalyan, Julie, and Isha. Faster, 2 minutes on stage. Faster, arrange yourself. Front, back, arrange fast. Thank you, Olafem. Now, you all can, on your notebooks which you have got it, there is a QR code which is mentioned on the front. First, on the front page, the book which you have got. So there is a QR code, you have to scan and give the feedback on the same. The colleges which have not got their certificate, you can correct the same from your registration desk. The place from where you have registered, you can collect your certificates from the registration desk. Row by row, the crowd management team will again guide you to leave the auditorium. Please don't forget to fill the feedback form, which is there as a QR code on the front page.
कौन सा इनपुट चाहिए इसका इनपुट चाहिए था ना कोडिंग वाला